where am I looking?
Don't wave the camera.
Hello. Oh no.
I don't know what's
It's
happening.
hard. This job is hard. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello. We are live.
We are
from
live.
Pete's dining room.
And nearly cooked to death.
Yes, it's like almost 30 degrees in the UK.
Which is unheard
Which we
of in
can't
this
cope
country.
with.
I don't
can't cope
function
with.
above about 22.
Yeah, and that's 30 degrees Celsius for those of you listening in America.
Or watching, even.
No,
Unless
listening
they're
and
just
watching.
sitting there with their eyes shut. No, I'm not looking.
Okay.
Well, you might be hobbying.
It might-
Hopefully, we can be your hobbying background music whilst you're painting and stuff like that.
To be fair, not looking is probably the best way to enjoy the content.
Yeah, probably. My complexion is not so great today with the hot and sweaty and the just not goodness because I was at the beach all day. So I've luckily not scorched in my face, although I do appear to have slight pan dries going on.
You're not too
especially on
bad.
the
You're not
cheeks.
as burnt as I thought. You had a little bit.
Could be
a
worse.
bit
Could be,
windswept, yeah.
could be worse. So anyway, but you didn't really sign in for this
No.
crap. So
Well, that's what you get.
yeah,
Comes for free.
but that's what you're getting and tough. Yes, I'm going to go shut my door so we don't annoy the rest of my family while trying to not be involved in this, basically.
Yeah, normally you don't bother about not annoying your family. It's fair to be said. It's fair to be said. Fair to say. True to say. Possibly. Who knows? Anybody gone yet?
Who knows? Yeah, we're down to one. And that's me, mum.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
there's
eight.
8 of you. Hello.
Hello. And Matt
So-
Collins made it to one finally. Hello. So patrons, if you're in the patrons, if you're in the Discord, then I'll be looking at questions on the Aegis Live Show
Yep.
Discord, and we will occasionally flick to the YouTube comments. But
Yes, if we've got nothing else to talk about, we will obviously address anything in YouTube. So I guess we can crash on. We're ready for this evening. We've given you the inane spiel at the start. We might as well smash on
early.
with
Do we
this.
not have to do some sort of 4-minute ad lib?
Oh yeah, maybe we need to do a bit about how you need to subscribe. So yeah, do subscribe, do hit the like button, and do hit the little bell thing to get notifications when we release stuff. Although I don't know anybody else, but generally I tend to, if I'm in YouTube, I get that list of stuff people are releasing. I tend to check out the latest channels, but tick the bell anyway. You'll get a notification, and you'll see when we release new stuff because we are releasing. We are still attempting, although August has been a bit.
August's been a tough month.
It's always a tough month for us, but we haven't released as much as we would have liked.
I
Especially
wasn't even
for
ill this August.
I know,
It's
what's
still
going
been a tough month.
I think it's because we fluffed up a bit and we took holidays at different times. Which
Terrible.
we're going to try and we'll just
gonna
go on holiday
liaise-
together next
yeah.
time, and then that way we can record whilst we're on holiday.
Yeah, that would go down well.
Yeah,
with
the wives would love that. Yeah, they'd love that. But we'll try and forward plan a bit more. But it's very hard. I think we said this last year as well that we try and forward plan a bit more, and
It's
we
not
didn't. It's
just that I've done almost zero hobbying. Certainly in the last couple of weeks. It was all right the first couple of weeks of the school summer holidays, but it just seems to have been one thing. I mean, I was in Berlin for some of it, so that wouldn't have helped. But
that does impact it some.
it's just kind of like one thing after another, and then when you get a hot spell in the UK, we can't deal with it. So
No.
everything shuts down.
Everything stops.
But
both in the national
yeah,
travel network and just biologically
yeah, just
internally.
shut down. So yeah, I haven't really done very much hobbying at all, which has a knock-on effect. I haven't done any writing, I haven't done any videoing.
I've probably got
done
a
a tiny
lot.
bit of painting.
I've probably done a lot more painting in the last month than I have done in ages, and I think all of that is thanks to Warcry. And
Well, yes,
obviously
we
we've
might
been
come on
doing.
to that later.
We definitely
yes,
will
I
be,
was
yes.
going to say about Warcry. Actually, I have done painting's the one thing I have done, and I am enjoying.
Yes.
But even the last couple of weeks, I've done less of that.
Yeah. It's definitely been tough. And if you're watching and you're not a Patreon supporter right now, then a little tip: if you sign up right now, you will get charged at the end of this month, but you will also get it refunded because we're refunding all our Patreon supporters for this month because we've not been great on our coverage and we've not done as much as we would have liked. So everybody who is a Patreon supporter will get a refund. So you could sign up now, you'll get the rest of this month, and you'll also get a refund at the end of this month, and you'll get all of next month as well. So I don't know, maybe it's worth a look. See, there's lots of videos on there that we haven't released on YouTube, our best of 3 stuff that our Patreon support $5 level and up get. So maybe worth a look. Let me move this microphone forward a bit.
So you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me, mother? Purely because my laptop, one of the things that we're trying to get at some point, we want to get a new machine so we can stream better, and my laptop is not best suited to
Andrew's
it.
here. Hello, Andrew. We can start.
Hello, Andrew.
Just going to say that that's twice you've referenced your mother since we were online. So something we
Is
need
it?
to know. Yeah.
Very odd.
Okay.
I'm sure, what's his name? Psychologist, therapist. Freud. He'd have a field day, I'm sure.
Probably.
Mind you, I'm sure
Probably.
5 minutes in the room with my mother and Freud would probably give up. No, you're just horrible. There's nothing sublime here. There's nothing subconscious.
Okay, let's stop.
Anyway, right. So let's crash on. We've got some questions from our Patreon supporters, as we said. We'll answer those, and if anybody on YouTube land wants to ask us any questions they'd like us to discuss, fire them out. Hopefully we can get onto those as well. So first off, Jason Newell asked us...
oh, excuse me, I'm falling asleep already.
Oh God, this is thrilling stuff, isn't it? This is
sorry.
This is the kind of presentation that you want, isn't it? Move over a bit anyway, taking up all the screen. Go on, back off. So, no, a bit further. Keep going. Right, so Jason, who won't be here today to watch, but he has asked, and we will answer your questions. Given the imminent, shut up, stupid machine. Given the imminent release of Beastgrave and the fact that we know the two warbands, what do you think their Inspire mechanics will be?
Oh, you started off with the question I hate the most.
Yeah, well, I'm going to let you answer that because I need to pop and do something family related a second. So,
okay.
It sounds quite dodgy. I'll be back in a minute. Robin's going to start you off.
Okay, great. Thanks for that, Pete. So the one question I had no real answer for, Pete left me to do on my own. Inspire conditions. I'm terrible at predicting Inspire conditions. I had a look at the warbands before coming out and trying to think, could I think of a exciting Inspire condition? And the answer is no, I can't. I kind of feel like the Elfie types, maybe they would get inspired if they were a supporting fighter, but then I thought actually no, because they have range attacks, so that's not going to be it. So perhaps successful. They haven't all got range attacks though, so it can't be like a successful range attack action. Can't be that. So I really don't know. What do you guys think? Chuck it in the comments down here, or on Patreon, not Patreon, on Discord. You can chuck it down there if you've got any thoughts. I don't know. The beasts, I think it'll be something quite reasonably violent, but we've already had a successful attack action. But I think it'll be something kind of violent. But what, I don't know. So I'm really bad at predicting that kind of new mechanic. And I think it's a hard thing for them to do. I mean, maybe they'll start to recycle them because they could. Obviously, things could have the same Inspire conditions. I'm not sure that they will necessarily, but and that's the toughest thing for me. Quite a tough balance in the game, I think, and they've done pretty well at that because there's however many Inspire conditions there are now, and they are pretty well balanced. I think the Chosen Axes one probably needs a rethink, and they say the rest are pretty good, and they say they all have their weaknesses, or most of them have their weaknesses and difficulties around inspiring. And then it is a case of choosing who to inspire. And Pete's been gone a very long time now, and I've had to talk entirely on my own. I think it's a bit much, don't you? Well, I think I can hear him coming back downstairs. So, yes. So, what do you guys think about Inspire conditions? And don't tell him I said that though, will you? Because he would hate to know that I said that about him on camera.
What's he been saying?
What's he been
saying?
Have
you just been
I've actually
putting off
talking. Why are you gonna go? I'll just take up something to say. I talk rubbish basically.
Oh, okay.
I try to answer the Inspire conditions. As I've said before, I'm terrible at predicting them. I'm really bad at imagining what they might be.
Yeah.
And I had a look at the warbands before I came out to try and get some idea, and I come up with nothing.
No, I can't think of anything for them. I mean, GW. It seems like they've used them all up. And then they come up with another one.
Exactly.
They kind of they reused the Stormcast one from Dreadfane.
It's a bit different though, isn't it?
Which is a little different. You've got to roll a crit on a dice. It can be defense or offense. But it's a similar kind of roll a dice and get a value. So I mean, we haven't seen us see a crit on attack yet, although that's slightly worse than the Stormcast one.
Tough getting a crit on attack.
It's a bit more tricky, but
you're throwing lots of.
But then like the Fire Slayers. They have to stand on objective. That's pretty tough.
While you weren't here, I said that I think they've done a pretty good job on balancing the Inspire conditions, apart from that one.
In Season 2, it's been, I think, more balanced than Season 1. Season 1 had some ridiculously easy ones and some really tough ones. Season 2 was much more levelled. So I'm not 100% sure
like
what
the Beast
guy,
so I think it'd be something
the Beastman.
It'd be something tough and rough.
Attacking or pushing someone back or causing damage maybe or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
It's a bit tough.
And I thought the elves might be supporting fighters, but then I realised they had range attack, so I didn't think they would be that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, so
maybe. I mean, we don't even know. There could be new kinds of hexes in this new version of the game, so it might be moving through. It's like there might be cover hexes where you get extra defense dice for attacking through them or stuff like that, because we're outside now, aren't we? So maybe there'll be something like that.
Yeah.
Who
I
knows?
think that's another question later, isn't it? What new mechanics you're anticipating?
Yes. So let's crash on. So we didn't answer question one because it was too tough, and we just don't have a clue.
We did try, and I did ask if anybody else wanted to say anything, and nobody has. So unless I've said anything. Oh, they're on YouTube.
Matt Collins asked, my girlfriend asks, where can you get those T-shirts? You can get them on Teespring.
Yes. There's a link in most of our videos. In fact, there might even be a link in this one at the bottom.
There might be, and in the comments there'll be a link to Teespring. And if you if we don't have something you want, but you want something quite specific, let us know, because we can probably put it on.
Yeah, we can do different coloured text, or we can do different names, or whatever.
We do different text and all
whatever.
kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Just no copywritten imagery, really, and that's about it.
No, we can do mine and Pete's faces if you like.
And Matt Collins then also asked, what do you think this edition's new thingy will be? So I'll add that to our list and we'll have a look at that in a moment.
Oh, yeah.
Mark Reynolds reckons Inspire on charge action. Bit easy maybe, but there's easier ones. Well, there's certainly ones that are just as difficult as make a charge action, so that could possibly be one. Or inspired next to a wounded enemy. They're both better guesses than we've got.
If they finish next to it's quite nice, that kind of idea that they're sniffing the blood. Getting a bit nutty.
Yep.
I quite like that.
Bit nutty.
Yeah.
Bit hazelnutty.
Yeah.
That's
a good one. That's a good one. Though tough though, and harder than the thingy guys, ghosty guys who just have to be next to you. So that's at the start of their activation, isn't it?
Ghosties have to be the start of an activation.
Maybe it could be at the end of your activation.
Yeah, because that would be a bit easier.
End of an activation. So even if you were charged by an injured person.
Yeah. I think I might be quite. I quite like that.
Cool, Mark. You should come and sit here.
Yeah, because you're doing better than we are right now. Or maybe cause X amount of wounds and inspire. Yeah, could be do at least, because then the bosses might have to be possibly harder for the bosses because they have to do more damage, whereas the little guys, they only have to cause a little bit of a wound to think, yeah, I'm in here, I've got a chance, I can do this. Who knows? And the question about what do we think will be the new thing coming this season? Well, I already touched on it, but we might as well answer that bit now. I think it could be like cover hexes, where if you're standing on them, you might get some kind of bonus to your defense or something like that. Because we know that we're in the Beastgrave, which is inside a mountain, so there's going to be trees and foliage and stuff like that. Yeah, I think it's meant to be set inside a mountain, but it's like a living mountain or something like that.
I thought it was just outside, but perhaps I misread.
I might have misread the whole bit about
I thought it was in a desert valley outside the thing. Anyway.
I thought it was inside a mountain. I'm sure someone said inside a mountain, which is why they're still sort of contained. But if anybody out there has read up and is better at this than we are, then please do let us know. With the cover suggestion, how would it apply to previous boards, or would they be invalidated?
That's a good point, yeah.
I think it might just not apply on those ones. Like the very first boards didn't have the lethal hexes, so you just like...
But so you couldn't have it as an Inspire condition, though?
Well, you could. You could.
Well,
it's
I suppose, yeah.
It's a bit like calculated risk. You know, it's only good on boards with lethal hexes on, so you either take a board with lethal hexes or you don't bother with it. Or
classify being adjacent to a block hex. Yeah, that would work.
That could work as well. That way they could reuse the old boards and make them a bit more useful.
Or they could do some sort of garbled cover all like they have in Warcry.
Matt, you're good at this. You and Mark, you should both you should start a channel or something, because you've been better at the wheel. They could also possibly make the lethal hexes placeable, a bit like objective hexes.
Yeah, well, I think we have talked about that before.
So that might be quite
or even the cover hexes.
Yeah, or the cover hexes possibly. So next question.
Actually, that would be a way of getting around it if they did separate. I don't think they'll do this, but if they did separate cover hexes, you could then do them on any board because you could set them up as you went. Yeah. Or maybe you could shuffle in more than 5 not objectives, but more than 5 hexagons with different things.
Oh, you'd have different ones, so you'd have hex ones and lethal ones and cover ones or whatever.
You don't know what you're placing.
Cool,
I don't know how it would work.
Could be a bit unfair because some person could end up placing all 5 objectives.
That's true.
That would then make objective warbands possibly a bit easier.
Who knows? I don't think they'll do that. But
no, probably not. So the next question: what are your speculations for the other warbands? Fairly confident we'll see Bone Splitters and another specific Chaos God Force. If they don't bring out Nurgle, I'm just going to pick at them. I'm just going to stand outside Warhammer World shouting, "Hell no, I won't go. Where's my Nurgle? Come at me, bro." I want Nurgle. I do want Nurgle.
I
don't know what else we'll get.
Would like Nurgle. Nurgle would be good. I think the models would be really good for
three warrior warband, 3 Nurgle Chaos Warriors, or possibly 2 and a Nurgle demon thing.
Some sort of that thing.
Oh, like a spawn type thing, or a beast of Nurgle.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Something like that. Yeah, they brought out new beast models.
And Nurglings can have a really cool inspired.
You can have a little tile with a whole
Yeah.
flock of Nurglings
Yeah.
on, and then another one with a beast of Nurgle, and then a Nurgle Chaos Warrior, and a Nurgle Demon possibly, or something like that. Yeah, bring out Nurgle. So just do it. Just what's so duff about it? We just gave you the ideas. They could get inspired when they're wounded, a bit like Oryx maybe, or something like that.
I'd love to see Free Peoples.
You're never going to get
I don't think I will, but that's what I'd love to see.
Mind you, they did just have a codex come out, or an army.
Somebody, I think I'd read in a thread on Reddit before I came out, and said that there was a city in Gore, Free People City.
Well, I think there's Free People cities in all the realms.
Well, okay, so there could be like a retinue from there. That would be quite cool.
Yeah. Well, there was that. I can't find the picture now because I'm not able to make that happen on here. But there was a picture someone did, and I think I sent it to you, which was of someone had made the hunt out of the Empire. There was like a guy with a long rifle and all that kind of stuff, and that looked pretty snazzy.
Yeah.
So there was that. Who else? Bone Splitters could possibly be coming out if they're in the land of Gur now, or the realm of Gur.
That's beasts, is it?
Yeah, beasts.
Yeah.
Beastie bird. And so Bone Splitters could be one that will be coming out.
Lizardmen. Everybody talks about Lizardmen. I don't think we're going to see it, but
I don't think you're going to see Lizardmen ever. I think whilst Lizardmen are quite GWIP-ish, they don't seem to ever get any love.
Do you think there'll be any Stormcast?
Well, they're not in the starter box.
No, I know.
So
I know, but
who knows?
It seemed odd for them to have no Stormcast whatsoever.
I guess we're probably going to see at least one.
A Griffin. Maybe, not a Griffin, a Griffhound.
You might get... Well, they've already done Fast Rider, haven't they? And he was like the...
He's got a bird. He hasn't got a Griffhound, though.
No, true. So we'll probably see one with the Griffhound. But the Fast Rider Warband was that sort of... The type of Stormcast that will range off ahead of the army and all that kind of stuff. They'd be the scouts. So they've already done that one. So...
And I think there'll be
another kind of death.
To tie in this tithe.
Oh, yeah, the bone tithe or whatever it is.
Tithe thing. I think there'll be an undead. I think some vampires are pretty cool. They could have a good inspire mechanic.
Yeah.
Like heal yourself. I don't know.
Do a wound and heal yourself.
Yeah.
Because there's several things which do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to seeing what that bone tithe thing is. I know it's AOS and I'll probably never play it, but they really, really excite me. Because I like dead things.
It's true.
Just go ask Ethel. She's in the fridge. That's a pun from an Alice Cooper joke. We've got many more questions. Let's have a quick look at those. Jason Newell says he made it. Hello, Jason. We are answering your questions at the moment, slowly but surely. Do we think that they'll make new board add-ons like the Forgotten Chamber? Yes, I think new boards will be a given. I think there'll just be tons of new boards. I still want them to do Warband specific artwork boards. If nothing else, just artwork specific would be lovely. Shattered Hex token I won. Yes, well, that's the thing, right? There's things like the Shattered Hex token, stuff like that. They just don't get used ever. Wayne has to go to work. Sorry, guys. Yes, Wayne, we are hot. We are warm. But you will be able to come back and watch the rest of this later on. So, sorry you had to go. What are we thinking of the Tithe videos? Well, we just suggested that I'm very excited about those Tithe videos. I think they're all AOS based. There might be a time with Shade Underworlds and stuff like that. I'm not 100% sure, but there might be a Beastgrave warband in there. Beastgrave.
Beastgrave. Oh, that's
lovely.
Very meaty.
Do we think Bone Splitters would be a definite shoe? And I'm not 100% sure because Bone Splitters are like one of the very... I mean, they're pre-AOS army. And they were then redone as a war with their own army book in this. So they're a bit old. But you never know, maybe.
Nice new skulks.
True.
Especially as they can go in Warcry as well.
D. Cubed has asked what other warbands we'd like to see, so we are just answering that right now. Matt Collins says, I was certain Cetra was coming back. I'm not sure it's Cetra either. VJ Morph. Hello, VJ Morph.
I'm afraid my lore is rubbish. I don't know who any of these people are.
Cetra was a mummy who didn't like Nagash. He didn't like anyone.
Third time he's brought up his mummy.
He did that. So he was the Kemrian general or something like that who didn't like Nagash. He didn't want to be under Nagash's rule. And I can't remember how he died in the end.
Well, Cetra's the one I always think is a woman, but isn't.
Kind of sounds a bit like a female.
I'm
not sure why.
I don't know.
But I don't think it'll be Cetra.
I haven't actually watched any of the Bone Tithe videos, I'm afraid.
Well, the accent is sort of suggestive of a sort of Egyptian-y kind of
I did see some of the stills. I think
some of the stills look a bit sort of, well, I don't know, they kind of look a bit samurai in some
Yes.
bits, and
Yeah.
so it's hard to tell, but I'm looking forward to seeing what Bowtie's all about, even if I'll do the same thing like I did with the Night Haunts when they came out. They look brilliant, and didn't do anything with that.
I've done a few of those kind of video build-up things, and at the end of the day, we just haven't got the time to look at it.
If we can get like 1,000 more Patreon subscribers, then we can both quit our jobs.
Yeah, it's only,
and then
it's only like a 200 times. No, I don't know.
we can do that
I can't even
many
do maths
times,
now.
much times, 2,000% increase.
20 times more than we have already.
20 times more. Yeah, we can do that. Come on, guys. Come on, join us. It's fun on the other side. The more people we get supporting us, the more we can do. But sadly, can't do any of that at the minute. Other war bands.
Get a Mongolian vibe on the bone top. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Oh yes, I wouldn't mind some nomadic. Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. I'd like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Any non-GW games that pique our interest?
I think somebody asked that later, so we'll perhaps come on to that.
Yes.
Andrew.
Yeah. So let's try.
What's that there? Sorry.
Which one?
There's a mention of it being a Stormcast now anyway, so not likely.
Oh, yeah, there was some mention about
okay.
Cetra being a Stormcast, and then someone else suggested he was a Stormcast who then defected back again or something like that.
On VJ, we have things to be chatting on.
If you've got any questions,
VJ,
you can chuck any questions you want in the Discord.
Nobody has asked anything in the Discord, so I think I'm just going to go home on the Discord front.
But if you post them in either, we'll try and we'll prioritise Discord where possible until Robin forgets it, and then we'll just keep looking at YouTube. So, how much do you think spellcasting will factor into Beastgrave warbands?
Not much.
I can't remember if the Beastman actually has a shaman or a shaman in their warband. I don't think they did. I think there was like a gore leader. There was some ungores and stuff like that. But I don't remember seeing a shaman. So maybe it'll be like season 2 right now. There'll be a helping of it, but it won't be necessarily.
I think there will be some magic warbands, but I don't think it'll be. I think it'll be as light touch as it is now. Really, I know some of them are really strong in it. But then they've nerfed them a bit now. But I don't think it's obviously has dictated the game, but I don't think it's really the spellcasting it has. If that makes any sense whatsoever, it's kind of like those little 1 damage things that people can't have because they're not spellcasters. But it's not. I don't really feel like it's.
But then a lot of them have been sort of blocked now or put
on they have been nerfed. Yeah.
So it's almost not worth taking them a lot of times unless you're really going magic heavy. So that's a different subject, I guess. But yeah, we don't think magic's going to be spellcasting's going to be too heavy in this game. Wishlist for Beastgrave, so we've been covering that. Yeah. Nurgle definitely. I think there might be a Daughters of Cain out there. Might be a Daughters of Cain warband.
Possibly.
I wonder if we'll see any.
Actually, I know what I was going to say, and I completely forgot about it. I would like to see one of the Warcry warbands make it there.
Yeah, that'd be quite cool.
Maybe the Untamed Beasts.
Well, it's going to be. I was going to say if Untamed Beasts. It's going
but
to
they're
be
a bit too much like the Godsworn Hunt.
They are a bit.
Yeah, but I would like to see a Warcry representation in Warhammer Underworlds for good synergy.
Be nice. I'd also like to see the warbands, although they've kind of allowed you a bit with the way you can build the Warcry warbands, is enabling you to use the Underworlds stuff in Warcry.
Yeah.
A bit more direct porting, but yeah. Other wishlist stuff for Beastgrave. I just want to see tighter rules, which I'm thinking we're going to get now based on the Dreadfane.
The next question is what mechanical changes, and I think the Dreadfane changes will roll over.
They'll be in there, yes. Although not the 2 glory for 1 kill, but that better not be in there.
No,
frankly,
but
that's just stupid.
I think we'll see the scything, like a area of effect attack, Is it scything?
Yes, I think it's scything where you hit everybody.
Yeah,
you've got entangle or something like that.
Entangle, which is
cleave for dodges.
Yeah, and then they've given something else. A keyword, I can't remember what it is.
Oh, isn't there one way for objectives and things like that where you have?
Oh, there's things like duel and
yeah.
There
was the one that meant instant, although
surge.
But there was. I don't think they've used them quite right because on one of the objectives I remember reading where they used the keyword which meant score immediately, and then directly afterwards they said score immediately when. Like, no, you don't have both. You have that. Yeah. Because anyway,
surge divide.
Yes, exactly.
I've been listening a little bit to the Dave Andrews podcast today. It does get a bit better. He was a bit nervous at the beginning, and it's a bit at the beginning, but he gets into it. Yeah. But it's interesting. I hadn't realised his background isn't rules game writing at all. it's editing.
Well, this is the guy who did
Who did this?
Underworlds
Who
and
did
stuff
Underworlds,
like that.
yeah.
Yes.
So I
Well, he said that when we were at the.
No, that's a different guy.
Oh, okay.
This
Sorry.
is Dave, the original guy. He basically worked in the editing department and then moved into the.
Because the other guy as well, who was a rules guy,
I wasn't going to touch on this right now. I think it's an interesting way of employing your games designers to get people who don't design games.
Let's get the guy who normally organises tournaments and the guy who normally edits videos to write a game for us.
Yeah, well, I can see why they obviously like the games and they talk about the games all the time. So I can see why that can work. But
it does highlight why there are some gaps that maybe
and I'm guessing there was some overall
pro.
strategic. Can get the impression from reading more and more things and listening to some of the Warcry stuff that Jervis Johnson has this kind of overreaching kind of puppeteering control over what's going on. So he'd give the sort of general steer. But I feel like they probably would have benefited maybe from getting somebody who actually like written a card game or something to nail down the terminology. And
maybe like they had the guys who did the card game with, I can't remember what it's called now, Champions, something like that. Yeah,
they'd already written. I mean, that's got its own problem. They had already written a card game.
They'd already done one that was very similar, so they already knew about all the stumbling stones of keywords.
So it's an interesting one. I don't know. I didn't necessarily think it's a bad thing. I just thought it was interesting that he had no formal games writing experience.
Yes.
I don't think Underworlds was the first thing he did for them.
No.
But it was interesting. I haven't got that far yet when you start to talk about Underworlds yet.
Oh, okay. I just recognised his shirt is the Godsworn Hunt. So there you go. So it was just Danish gibberish. Well, bit of column A, bit of column B. Yeah. You can get these on our Teespring store. There is a link in the description if you are interested. And if you want something that isn't on there, let us know. We can probably knock that up for you.
This is my unlucky T-shirt.
From 100% success. 100% failure rate.
Yeah, not quite. I did win one game.
That's true. Do we mean say GW don't write watertight rules?
Couldn't possibly comment.
Yeah, couldn't possibly say anything. You can take from what you like that. And people are asking about whether we have had any interest in Aeronautica, which was the flying hex-based type thingy. And we were saying earlier.
Where's that? So we're right up there. Okay, yeah.
And we were saying that we really hope we don't get sent a copy of that because we haven't got the time to play it.
Yeah, I'd love to play it.
It looks nice.
But I thought it was going to be like November time. It might come out and then we might have time by that time coming out. I'm not expecting it to be released now.
With Blackstone Fortress, Warcry and Underworlds, it's just...
So I feel that if we don't get an advanced copy, which we might, because I think they normally come out just before the pre-order opens.
It's a bit like Dreadfame. It's a case of if we don't get a copy of Dreadfame, we're just not going to worry too much about it.
We've been lent a copy of Dreadfame.
Thank you, Matt.
By Matt, who picked one up from Barnes & Noble and then got it shipped over to the UK. So we are going to record that on Wednesday night.
We'll be playing that with some painted models by Ed.
Ed, yes, thank you, Ed, because we sent off the previous one from the whatever they were called, Soul Wars.
Yeah, the second AOS box set.
Yeah, and sent that off to Ed ages ago, so we were prepared. So we're going to paint a model by Ed.
Thanks to our Patreon supporters.
Matthew.
Matt Splat.
Yes.
So you will be getting some Dreadfame games, thanks 100% by our Patreon supporters. So thank you very much. You will be getting the game back, so don't worry about that.
Well, we say that.
It's ours now.
It'll be with your refund.
Possession is 9/10. So, oh no, he knows where I live. It's not. Give me my game back. So, what are we on to, Jason? We're still answering your questions. We're getting there. What mechanical changes do you think we'll see? Well, we'll hopefully tighter rules, maybe some flowcharts would be nice, just some more keywords.
Isn't there a flowchart in Dreadfame?
I think there is.
Yeah,
so I'm hoping they go that direction more, because you get a flowchart, there's 0 question marks then. Do you think creep is going to become even more pronounced?
Creep! That's creep more pronounced for you.
Oh, there you go.
Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, you think it will?
I think it will.
You think it will? Honestly, I would have said yes until that guy with the Reavers won the Grand Clash recently.
Yeah, but I think the Grand Clash was only like 20 odd people there or 30 odd people there or something.
Well, he must be shit.
Doesn't matter. Not suggesting it was terrible. He still won with Reavers, so he gets my undying love, regardless.
Exactly,
But I just wonder.
About wanting to marry him earlier.
Yeah. I don't know he is, but he won with Reavers, so I don't care. He got them some glass. But I think
he's got nice glass.
He's got nice glass, he has. But I think you look at the models and you look at the stats on the Mermorn Banshees, whatever they're called in Dreadfame.
Yeah, that's true.
They're filthy.
Yeah, I've heard. I haven't had any experience of it yet, but I've heard that the The other guys, the Stormcast guys, are not so good because they're difficult to inspire.
Yes.
That's what I heard
Yeah.
on the grapevine.
Yeah, I saw a post about that where someone was saying, how's everybody finding them? So we will find out. I guess we'll have to play 2 games and do a swap sides and see. So, I mean, there's no deck building, so that'd be easy enough. And there's no placement of objectives or boards, so that's nice and easy.
Yeah.
So it should be quite easy for us to
We
look
don't really
at.
pay much attention to that stuff anyway.
No, we're pretty crap on that one. So, yeah. So, pronounced, I do think there will be some pronounced creep. I mean, they've got to be better than season 1, or else they're not going to be better than season 2. And they've got to be better than season 2, or else no one's going to want them.
Creep. More pronounced creep.
Creep. Pa, 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 pa. Okay, so there we go. Hopefully, Jason, you don't feel too cheated by the answers we just gave to you. So, who have we got on now? We've got 17 of you online. This is, I mean, that sounds pathetic for some online streamers, right? But for us, every single one of you counts. Everyone. 18. Boom. I'm going to keep saying
Matt won with Reavers as well.
Oh,
you
nice,
didn't win
Matt.
the Grand Clash with Reavers, though, did you, Matt?
Well, there
was somebody called.
If you beat more than about 5 people, then
yeah, no, I wasn't. Was there somebody else's one with Reavers? Is really what I meant there. Answers were good. Cheers, Jason.
That was me. They got me my 8th trophy. So, did you win that Grand Clash?
I'm sure that was somebody else. But anyway,
I personally hope they bring out updated warband cards for Worse of Warbands.
Yeah, they pretty much said no to that when the Grand Clash we were at.
Yeah.
They pretty much said we're not going to do that.
With good reason. I mean, I can see where the guy's coming from. He basically said, if I said to my boss, how about I spend 3 months doing something for things that we've already done, or spend 3 months doing some stuff for things we haven't yet done, what's your boss going to say to you? He's just going to go, no.
I'm going to start going on about capitalism ruining good games again. So we don't need that rant. So let's move on.
So it doesn't matter, Matt.
Don't
even
worry,
if
Clash.
you didn't win a Grand Clash.
No, I didn't win a Grand
Clash.
Clash. I didn't win a Grand Clash either, Matt.
I don't love him. But yeah, sadly, whilst I'd like to see new warband cards, I don't think we're ever going to get them, sadly. But I'm still going to take my Scave into a Grand Clash.
I don't really understand it, because that means they could sell product that they already have. I don't understand why.
Well, they can anyway, because people like you need the cards. So anyway, so we're on to Andrew Marlowe. So Mr. Marlowe, he's just finished moving house.
Well, congratulations,
well
Andrew.
That kind of thing is just a pain in the ass.
I bet you were hilariously nice about it while you did it too.
You haven't officially finished moving house until you unpack the last box, which technically means I've not actually fully moved into my house yet.
I haven't actually moved out into my previous house before this one yet.
Exactly, yeah. So he asks quite a lot of agent videos to catch up on. Blah blah blah. I'm going to read this. He hasn't actually. Sorry. I'm going to start reading actual questions.
Are there any other board games on the horizon you would be interested in having on the channel? Well,
so we have obviously Blackstone Fortress, Warcry, and Underworlds, and we're hoping to try and keep all 3 of those on, or at least until we complete Blackstone Fortress. There has just been an add-on come out, but it does take a while.
We bought the handball thing last week. Oh yeah, Blackstone Fortress. Not a lot of people watch it either. No. I don't want it to fall away because it adds an extra.
It's a nice little
person to the group as well, because Stu comes.
It does. We'd have not Stu. He comes along, and it is nice to have somebody else in. But oh no, Stu! Oh no, I've done it again! Don't tell him, Pike. So there's those 3 games.
Yeah.
What else would we like to cover, or is there anything else?
I mean, I wouldn't mind covering this new game that they're just bringing out.
Aeronautical.
Yeah, but I don't think I have the time. No. I actually would really love to do Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay online group.
Maybe we'll try and get some online group things.
I'd love to do that, but it's first of all, it's getting the tech together to actually do that, and then getting the night together where I can do it. But I'd love to do that. I'd love to do more board games. I've actually been playing quite a few over the summer, and I've been sent a couple of Thames and Cosmos games to review, and I'd love to play them. But it's finding that balance, because every new game you add, you've got to learn it, and
we've got to work out the best way to film it as well, and present it.
You've got to learn it because you've got to get it right.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's no point people watching it.
Or else people just going, "Oh, you got that wrong."
Yeah, and then you've got the other problem of you dilute the other content. People want to watch the Underworlds content. Somebody's said you haven't got any Underworlds for ages. Are you going to do any? And the answer to that is definitely yes.
Definitely.
But obviously, with Warcry and the summer holidays, we have diluted that. So if you start playing Warcry, Blackstone Fortress, and Warhammer Underworlds, and start adding in extra board games too, it starts to think, well, what are you actually doing? Yeah,
you end up. I mean, I'd love to be able to do like Guerrilla Gaming, I think it is, Ash on there. He does a different game system every day of the week. He does like 40k one day, or AOS another day, and Warcry another day, and then he does old games like he does He was doing Mordheim the other day I saw, and he does Adeptus Titanicus and stuff. Ash from Guerrilla Gaming.
Yeah.
So he does like a 5-day week.
Well, if we had a full-time, if it was a full-time job,
yeah,
then that would be pretty
there'd
cool.
be a different game every day. That would be
but
freaking awesome.
But at the moment we only meet once a week for a couple of hours.
Exactly, yeah.
3 hours at the most.
3 hours, which means we can get 2 games in, possibly 3.
I'm hoping to bring a solo Lord of the Rings game to the channel, but the miniature painting is going very slowly on that. And I'd love to do that. The Journeys in Middle Earth. I'd love to do that because you can do it solo and it's app driven, so it'd be quite a nice thing to record.
That'd be quite cool. Yeah.
I could record that in the afternoon.
Yeah.
I think the editing would be less tight because I haven't got the time. But there should be less umming and ahhing and conversation to edit through because I'll have to talk to myself, which I'll top of this video. You know how terrible I am at that. So. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to add stuff. It's just finding the time.
It is finding the time and what you sacrifice for that. BJ Wolf says live streaming RPGs sound like a better idea than in execution, in his opinion.
Yeah, I think
and
you're
that
probably
could
right.
be true. We did watch a friend of ours was doing a live role play stream thing, and I think unless you can get it really good, it can seem a bit. Also, if you have a particular regular group, you have a lot of in jokes.
Yeah.
That you start making, and then it just looks like nonsense to any outside person watching it. So, I mean, I've watched some of the ones where they've got like Vin Diesel and stuff, and they've got like multiple cameras and all these different angles and shit like that, and you're still sitting there sort of going, bit rubbish.
So maybe we won't do
Maybe we have to try.
Maybe we'll just try and play with it and just enjoy it.
Maybe it'll be something that we might try and give to our Patreon.
Clan Squire Gunslinger Warband. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be quite funky. Someone said, Matt says, have you seen the antagonist Skaven deck? Is that the one where you have to big up 2 of the Skaven?
I think it is, yeah. He sent a link on Discord, but I think it is that one. It's, it is Fester and Hungering.
Yeah.
Not too dissimilar to the one you used at the... I mean, it is a bit dissimilar, but you had that idea of pairing up Hungering and Festering.
Yeah, they were my 2, but not quite as extreme as that, so I had more options.
Yeah.
I saw it. I think it has some real... someone just said if people aren't used to playing on streams, they can get very self-conscious and it can affect the role play. Yeah, because you don't want to sit there and go, I'm a giraffe! Because everyone's going to sit there and think,
a giraffe.
Just a giraffe, yes.
Okay, yeah.
It's my
That's maybe where you're going wrong.
Yeah, mate, I'm playing the wrong game again. I'm playing the Animal Farm one. They weren't giraffes now either. So, I can see how people who aren't used to doing live streaming can get quite self-conscious. I mean, you watch some of our very first videos, we were insanely self-conscious, and those where we're just sort of standing there like, hello, my name's Pete, and my name's Robin, and we're going to do a video for you today. I think you've written loads of stuff down your thing, and you're just sitting there talking to your crotch for the whole intro
My
bit.
crotch is lovely, thank you.
Well, in jokes and fringe stuff can make it a bit dodgy, so... I don't know, maybe we'll try it for some Patreon people or not. There would be entertainment factor, but...
I think they would. But, yes, you're right. So I'm not sure we'll do that, but I'd like to. If people aren't used to playing on stream, yes, self-conscious.
So we're just staring at the screen down here. You can just sit and look at the sides of our heads.
More questions.
So there was the ball games of interest. So we were interested in the aeronautical and stuff like that, but it's finding the time, sadly. Are we looking forward to coming back to Shakespeare after a short break? I am, and am a bit concerned by it. We now have 1 billion cards to choose from. 100 billion warbands. These are all approximate numbers. There's a lot of cards. There's a lot of warbands. New warbands are going to come in, and they're going to be the new most exciting thing ever. And it's just going to be. It's going to be tough. I think it's going to be tougher than season 2. It's obviously going to be a lot tougher than season 1 because there really wasn't much out there then. So it's going to be tough. But I am hoping that they've managed to fill some of the gaps and balance things up a bit more because they've got 2 odd years worth of experience now behind them in doing this. So I'm hoping it becomes a better, clearer game out of that.
We've played 1 set of games over the summer, which is the first since the Grand Clash, so it's quite a long time. But we played it 2 or 3 weeks ago, but when we've been on holiday and stuff. That hasn't gone out yet, has it? It goes out this Friday, doesn't it?
Which that are
the Profiteers versus...
Yes, it'll be coming out this Friday for our Patreoners.
Profiteers versus
and
Far Strider.
Next week
and
for
I
our
actually
YouTubers.
really enjoyed the playing of those games.
Yeah.
The deck building... I've lost a bit of love for deck building. I think because it seems a bit not one-dimensional. I think I did it so much and then got such bad results in the Grand Clash that I'm kind of like need to go right back to basics.
Your problem with the Grand Clash though was that you did make some very fundamental changes.
Yeah.
After playtesting.
Yeah, I did.
Loads,
I did.
So, which doesn't help.
I did, but I think I just got so obsessed with the deck building I completely forgot, and that came out in the game we played. I made a couple of mistakes where I actually wasn't really playing the game, and I think I lent too heavily on the deck.
Yeah, could
aspect of it. I think that's because what everybody talks about all the time, and I kind of forgot that that's only one aspect of the game.
Yeah.
So it was really nice to play the game with a less.
I almost want more restrictions on the card picking to make the choice of what cards you take a bit easier. Almost a bit like you have groups of coloured cards, like red group, yellow group, black group. You can have 3 from here, 3 from here, 3 from here, almost. Something like that. I mean, obviously people are then going to say, these 3 are the best in that group, these 3 are the best in that group, and we kind of have that with the bar list now, where it's like, these are the best cards, so you can only have so many of them. Lost in deck building, one of us, I
should do that, make fun decks, not tournament winning style decks, but then I find that hard, because you look at it, and then I'm not quite sure what fun is, and actually winning is quite fun, and so you end up thinking, well, I could play that, but actually this card is just a more...
Not only that, we have the problem... doing it online as well, that we have people going, well, what are you taking that card for? That was rubbish. Why didn't you take these cards? This is much better. Your decks are rubbish. You suck. You know, we're not trying to do...
Sorry, I guess I was a bit upset that day, all right?
You
didn't have to tell everybody.
It's just... Yeah, we never try and be too competitive with our decks. I have found that all my decks are going in that sort of direction. I want to try and get away from it a bit more.
I did play a slightly, not off the wall, a slightly unusual Profiteers deck. Last time, which wasn't that unusual, but it was slightly.
It was a bit off the wall, yes. Matt Collins asked, did we go to the UKGE? We didn't play at that one. Robin went to that one. We didn't go to the tournament but we did go to the one in July.
Board games, yeah.
We did go to the one in July.
Got some lovely board games.
We didn't have some. We didn't have the best results at the Grand Clash, but it did make me. It did reinvigorate my joy for playing the game, especially against other people as well, because it's nice to suddenly play against a complete stranger.
Yeah.
And there's all this common ground when you both sit down. I'd never done any kind of tournaments before. I don't think you'd done any tournaments before, so we just decided to jump in at the deep end. And it's just nice to have that common ground where you just sit down against opposite someone you don't even know apart from their name, but you can immediately just start playing this game. And there's no real confusion there at all, which I've never experienced, which I quite liked.
That was nice. But yes, I do enjoy board games. Matt, talking about the UKGE. Is anybody going to Tabletop Gaming Live? I think I'm going on the Saturday. I think it's the end of September. It's at the Alexandra Palace. I shall be there with my son. Anyway, there you go.
So anyway, and he has also said as well he possibly wouldn't mind them dropping season 1 cards, and I feel that maybe that might help. When did you do it?
Yeah, well, this is the. I've been really analysing about why I haven't not why I haven't enjoyed Underworlds recently, but I haven't been that excited about the game. I think somebody maybe asked a question later. Have I been following the latest kind of state of the game? And I haven't really, because I think there was that recent change of the bar list.
Yeah.
And I kind of thought, that means I've got to change everything again, and that's just fine. I think that bar list was good, and it obviously led to the Reavers winning, or helped lead to the Reavers winning. I think it's great. Sounds like that's really good. But then we're just kind of, I'm in this odd position where you're on this treadmill of like releases, and you get to the end of it, and actually now should be the time the game should be in its sort of most balanced state.
Yeah.
And you should be able to play it and enjoy it. You've got the whole range, and you can play it and enjoy it. But well, firstly, there's this that you haven't even played yet, and that's got new things in it. But then you also know that in about a month's time, there's going to be a whole load of more. And if they follow the same release schedule, in 2 months' time, there's going to be 4 new warbands and a gajillion new however many cards that works out to. So you just think, well, there's not much point investing energy into finding out what the current state of the game is, because by the end of September, October, it's going to be completely different again.
Yeah. which is sort of good in some ways. You haven't got to worry too much about the bar list and what warband's the best one at the minute, because the next thing coming along might blow all out of the water.
But I think it's just changing for me. It is just changing a little bit too quickly. I just could do with just a bit of a period of stability.
This is not the capitalist GW way, though.
Well, exactly. And
You
I
leave things
do
as
understand
they
that.
are.
So then you think, well, do they retire the season 1 cards? If they retire all the season 1 cards now, then they're not enough. You're back to just the season 2 cards. It feels like that's not enough. But if they do it at the end of season 3,
would that be
that's
that bad?
too many. Well,
Would that be that bad? I mean, it would really force people to look at the other season 2 cards.
But what
and
do you
pick
do?
some other stuff.
What do you? Well, maybe.
I mean, there'd be no ready for action. But
I think the war bands, will be lost.
Yeah.
I think
at least we haven't made a blog or anything.
No, that's true.
based
That's
on
true.
it.
The season 1 war bands though would be. Would they be at a massive disadvantage? I mean, they couldn't utilise some of the cards.
Well,
I feel like.
But there's a lot of season 2 stuff out there. I mean,
I don't know whether they will.
Deck.
Yeah,
I haven't done the stats on it, but maybe just getting rid of season 2 or making them no longer available for tournaments might just make people have to look at season 2 that little bit more if they got rid of season 1. Sorry, and maybe as season 3 starts to drip in, that might then start to give you that.
I can't remember, one of my decks recently
again.
was bizarre. I had like only 1 ploy from season 2, but only one upgrade from season 1.
Yeah, I had something weird like that. I'm sure I'd like, and I was sorting out my cards afterwards to put away. I'm like, I've only got and sorting them into upgrades and ploys and so on. Then you put them into the different seasons. You're like, oh, okay, I've only got one of one, and everything's from the other one. So
I am worried about bloat, but I wonder if we might see some reprints in season 3.
Yeah,
we'll slow that bloat down. And I really worry bloat about from the perspective of new people coming in.
Yeah,
because if you want to play this game, you need.
Well, I know some. Yeah, I know some people who would like to play the game, but they're not going to pay £200 to get all the cards.
You don't need to do that unless you can play competitively.
No,
but you kind of.
But you also don't want to sit there.
As somebody said in one of the comments in there, is their ultimate competitive game. So whether you're playing it seriously or not, you want to play competitively.
Yeah.
And there's no point in going anywhere and just being drubbed. Cause
plus,
you haven't got
if you just buy the box and buy Zarbag's Gits, for example, your caster's going to suck because he's not going to have most of the spells that are going to be any good for him.
Yeah.
And if you buy one of the other warbands, there might not be half the cards in there. They're going to make you even halfway decent deck. So you can't really even enjoy the game in a casual sense because you can't build a half decent deck.
Copy the cards.
That is the only argument. You could print them online and stick them in a.
But so I do feel that bloat is an issue.
Yeah, I think I'm coming more around to the idea of just getting rid of season 1. I mean. Don't get me wrong, that would annoy me in some ways, but at the same time, that might just give you that variance again.
There will come a point where it's not so much of a problem because there are so many good cards that you don't need. You know what I mean? There must come a point where there are so many cards across the boxes, you don't need all the boxes to make a competitive deck.
True.
Once there are more than 32 boxes, you can't possibly need all of them.
Matt's doing some research. He's going to look into which season is the most prevalent on the bar list. And let us know on Discord. That'd be awesome. Thank you, Matt. So that's some awesome live. I'm getting our stats from the office. I'd be quite interested to see what those are as well. I think Fast Riders were one of the worst warbands to buy, and they had 2 or 3 cards from theirs on the bar list. I think 1 or 2 of them were even on the completely banned list.
Right. Okay.
So yeah. So what else? What
there was some more.
So we are looking forward.
Gen Con.
We love stats. We do love stats. Stats are the thing that I love most.
Yeah, stats are good. Anybody watch the cricket? Talking of stats.
No sports. Midwest USA, where Gen Con happens, it's not a huge Underworld scene out here, and Gen Con is really more D&D board game convention than wargaming. Cool. So, will you do Warcry and Shades by Bat Reps? Well, we have already done some, Mr. Marlowe, so hopefully you've seen those. We will be doing more Warcry and Shades by Bat Reps, obviously.
This week we're recording 2 Dreadfane and a Warcry.
Yep. Featuring some of the new warbands.
Somebody somewhere commented about wanting to see the existing AOS warbands.
Non-chaos ones.
We haven't done those. The non-chaos ones.
Not yet.
Oh, you played Nighthawks?
I did. No. I played Legions of Nagash.
Oh, whatever. Some dead people too. And
different stages of dead. Very dead. Incredibly dead.
Mostly dead.
Yeah, sort of dead. I would like to do an Oracle warband at some point.
Yeah, and I have bought some
Griffhounds
and bought the Stormcast cards. So
I read somewhere that the warbands, the Warcry card packs might be limited print. So we might have to go and get some of the others that we need.
Should you get the Stormcast ones?
Oh, I see. Okay, I might have to go back and get the Auric ones, and I'm trying to look at what other ones I want to do.
Online, though.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. That is true. You should never download stuff online. If you download a Warcry warband, would you steal a car?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't
no.
steal a car. I couldn't make use of it. But yeah, I think if they're not going to sell them, it's not really stealing them. I don't think.
That's true. That is true.
It kind of
Mind
is,
you,
but you're not done them out of any money.
mind you, there's only one Mona Lisa, so you can't buy another one of them. But I'm sure if you took that, that'd be classed as stealing.
It's a good point.
Yeah. It's not what I mean.
But if I took a photograph of the Mona Lisa or a copy off the internet, that wouldn't be stealing. I don't think.
I don't think so.
Anyway, we digress.
So, what makes Warcry stand out from other games? Well, based on my obviously massive wealth of knowledge.
Who asked this question?
This was Mr. Marlowe.
Oh, okay,
Mr.
the scenery.
Marlowe. The scenery. You like the scenery?
Yeah, scenery.
I like the fact, and a lot of other people don't like this, but I like the fact that you buy a box and that gives you a warband, and you can play. It's not like Kill Team,
No.
which was you could buy one in their box. You go, oh, I've got 58 points of my 100. Well,
yeah,
500.
no, I think some people would argue that it doesn't because you can't make certain combinations. But yeah, I do
Possibly.
like the fact that you can just buy.
You can pretty much make 1,000 point more, but it might not be optimal or the best or whatever. I've never cared about that really.
I actually really like that. There's only one roll.
You're
fighting.
4+, bam, there you go. I've done 16 wounds or whatever.
Yeah.
Loser.
I'm not sure it makes for tactical brilliance, but in some ways it does.
Well,
I can't work it out. I haven't really played enough games yet, but I like that. It's immediate of it. When we
gets rid of that dice attrition.
I don't know if anybody was following us at the time when the new Warhammer 40,000 box came out, and we played that, and you were the Death Guard, and I was the Primaris Space Marines, and I'd shoot you, and you needed like 2s to save, or not to save. I needed 2s to hit, so I rolled lots of 2s, and then you would roll. You probably needed 2s. I probably needed 5s to wound, I say. So I got a couple of 5s. Great! I actually finally got through. Oh, I've made one of the saves. Oh, and I've got another save.
Yep.
So there are like how many dice? 4 dice rolls there of numerous dice, and having to keep tally of what
and
dice
re-rolls
for nothing to happen.
Yeah. Or I think in some of our early AOS games, you had like a unit of Bretonians, and you end up rolling out 45 dice, and of those dice, 28 of them hit, and of those 13 wounded, and of those I saved 12 of them, or whatever. You're like, just.
So you got
so annoying.
And so now it's just like bang.
I do like rolling buckets of dice.
Well, buckets of dice is good, but
I'd rather roll 4 dice and go, I've done 16 wounds.
Yeah, it's so easy to see.
Yep.
And I do really like that about Warcry.
So, and I think the other thing I like about Warcry at the minute is it's just really simple rules wise. It really is. There's only so many things you can do. I set up with a friend of mine the other day and played a game. He used to work for GW and he played other games in the past, but he'd never played Warcry. From literally putting the box down, going, okay, let's play a game, to putting it all back in the box afterwards whilst I was sobbing after he thrashed me. It was like an hour and a half, the whole thing. I don't think in our early games of even Underworlds you could do that. Plus you've got deck building stuff which takes up time outside.
Well, that's another thing I do. Why I don't favour Warcry over Underworlds, but for our content generation, at the moment there's an overhead on Warcry because we've got to do the painting.
Sorry, I'm going to have to stop you here. This just in: 80% of all banned cards are Shadespire. Only 20% are from Nightvault.
Interesting.
That's a stat you can get your teeth in.
Yeah. Do we need to talk about that now? Or should we come back to it?
Talk about it in a minute.
Okay, well,
we're still talking about Warcry.
Right.
Anonymous Jeff has said that he might have some spare squigs.
Oh,
I have to give you what about that one. Yeah, it might be interesting, a few of those, because along with Zarbag and a few squigs, you can make a nice army.
Yeah.
That could be interesting. So here we go. So Matt is saying 8% of the banned cards are Shadespire. Restricted 52%, Shadespire 32%, Nightvault 16%, Power Unbound.
Yeah, that was pretty heavy. 16%, yeah.
It was Unbound. Although I still think they should release the deck now and just call it Power Bound.
Non-chaos faction Warcry.
Just look here again, see what we missed.
Heard about some Aussies not being happy.
Perhaps a non-sports ball person could get. I'm kind of in the same
pretty. Yeah. Okay, sorry.
Also, bear in mind there are only 5 cards that are banned. The headline's misleading.
Oh yeah, of course, yes.
Are there 5 cards banned?
Yeah, I was thinking it was the whole list.
I'm trying to think what they are. There's Time Trap because that was
Trap
because that was badly FAQ'd.
And there's Time Trap,
which was badly FAQ'd.
And Time Trap,
and that was because that was badly FAQ'd.
I won't do it anymore.
There was Extreme Flank. There was the one that pushes everybody out. Great Concussion. I thought that was it.
Can't remember now.
Go on, mate. You're gonna have to put them in the comments now. What are the other two? I've got to remember three. So what?
They banned the Quick Thinker. Did you say that?
I didn't. So there was Quick Thinker as well. So that's 4.
Yeah.
We're nearly there. What's the 5th one?
They haven't banned one. They haven't banned any recently.
How can we call ourselves Underworlds Masters?
Great Concussion, Time Track, Quick Thinker. Also, I can't count.
Well, there was Extreme Flank.
So that's all.
They had Extreme Flank was. So
well, I count Time Track twice.
Time Track.
Exactly.
Good work there, sir. Also, this just in, there are 27 letters in the alphabet. Nice one. So we've gone massively off track. So reasons why we like Warcry, there's that.
Oh yeah, I was going to say, from a content point of view, so apart from the painting the new warband, which has got a lot of time, we can just pretty much, because you can just play with the warband and it's the right number of things.
Yeah.
The deck building has taken quite a lot of time in the week because this thing, you don't want to turn up and record a game with a shit deck.
Yeah.
Well, I don't anyway. I
don't
really worry about that. And so I end up spending quite a lot of time doing that. And you've got to record. We don't have to record, but we do record a deck.
We do a deck video most of the time. We haven't in the last month or so because we've been doing a lot of.
Which takes time, but Warcry, you just kind of turn up and play, and it's quite.
You can just sit down. You get your ability card out, get your models out, and you can just play the game.
I did still enjoy our game with the Profiteers more than I enjoyed the Warcry game. So there is that.
I mean, maybe we start looking at doing more games where we use tournaments, but that's pointless actually because the new warband's coming out soon, so it's all going to be up in the air again. But it's not like I don't.
Tournament decks are a red herring because they're only valid for about a week.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and then they're already on the ban list about to land.
They're on the ban list, well, a whole load of new cards come out.
We're up to 19 of you, 19 beautiful people out there. Hello, and thank you for tuning in. Hopefully we're giving you something to listen to whilst you're painting and we're not too irritating. I personally, what do you like? Here's a question for you guys. What do you like listening to or watching whilst you're painting? I have been watching a lot of David Attenborough stuff recently whilst painting. There's just something about David Attenborough's voice that can just put you into this soothing nature as he talks about a bear ripping a fish to pieces or whatever, and just lovely listening to that, man.
I don't listen to anything.
Do you not?
No.
You sit there in silence, just
yes.
your own angry...
I don't know why. It's partly because where I paint, there isn't a good listening thing. There's no way to put a telly or anything.
Yeah, that can be a problem.
Today I was doing a bit of painting and I listened to Dave Sanders' podcast I was telling you about earlier. I do occasionally listen to podcasts, but then I find I need to concentrate on the painting. I get distracted. So I don't.
Jason also does the Attenborough while I'm painting. Sounds like a dance move, the Attenborough.
Doing the Attenborough.
So, we have gone off a bit. Would you recommend Warcry to people who play Shadespire? I think I'd recommend it to anybody.
Depends why they play Shadespire.
Yeah, I mean, I'd recommend to anyone who likes tabletop gaming because it's got that tabletop aspect to it, but it's not got a lot of hidden costs and rule craziness right now.
I'm not sure I would recommend it to people who play Shadespire.
Possibly not Shadespire specifically.
I think it's more for your AOS people who haven't got time.
Yeah, possibly.
Or
I mean, there's definitely a nice little... It's a slightly increased model count, but it is very different in the boards are different, stuff like that.
Massively different. I don't think if you like one, you necessarily like the other.
No.
You might, because we do.
Putting the models together is just a whole different... I mean, Underworlds has spoiled us with its push fit. And some of the... I don't know what any of the guys you put together are like, but some of the ones I put together have been horrific.
I'm terrible at putting models together. Terrible at it. So bad. I moaned about it. When I went to paint them, I actually found that one of them I'd obviously moved.
Arm on his head.
Well, not quite, but he'd obviously moved. So there was a backplate, like an armour backplate that fits onto his buttocks, basically. And you know how I lost the iron breech.
Oh, yeah, he lost the ogre one that hides his butt.
His bum shows.
Robin's like, I'm leaving that off, dirty girl.
Well, this one basically just has a hole in the equivalent space. And when I went back to it, the metal chainmail bit was basically sticking into the hole. And so the bit was stuck out, and I didn't even notice when I was painting it. It must have slipped after I put it on, but it just... I had to cut it out.
One of the...
assembling figures.
One of the Furies, he's meant to have his arm like that. and I've stuck it on with the wing. The wing's quite heavy,
Right.
and I've not noticed, but as it's been drying, the wings slowly droop down on the back slightly, and the arms sort of come up. And now his shoulder is kind of like by his ear. He's kind of like... So not the best put together model,
maybe
that
it's on
one,
the phone.
but I figure he's chaotic, so he's probably just, he's just a spawn. But yeah, I'm not sure if you like Underworlds, you'll definitely be a shoo-in for Warcry. I think if you can get a demo game in at a store or something, give it a try though, because if you like AOS or other skirmish tabletop games, it could definitely scratch that itch for you.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, but if you've come into Shadespire from the Magic the Gathering end, I don't think Warcry is going to float your boat, but you probably know that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Sorry, there's more stuff in there.
Andrew says he listens to Talking Heads or Meta Matters, and when he has to rewind, when you say something particularly interesting or thought-provoking, so you don't rewind very often then, I'm guessing. I love
Well, he says you, but he might not mean us. He might mean the
Talking Heads.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, there are. Sorry.
Yeah.
I thought they're a good podcast name. Oh dear.
I love the look of Warcry, but I'm not going to get into it. I enjoy podcasts, independent characters, preferred enemies, and Storm Voxcast are my favourites. Yep, I occasionally listen to Storm.
Weren't you saying you listened to Stormcast the other day and it was erms every three seconds?
Today.
Was it today?
Dave, I wasn't going to say that. It's embarrassing. Dave Sanders is on this week, and I think he was nervous at the beginning because it gets much better.
Oh, okay.
It's very and I kind of felt actually Games Workshop should have done him a favour and edited that properly.
Just chopped it a little bit.
Just chopped them. Even the audio, if they didn't do the video, because that makes it more difficult because you've got to match it up.
Video can be trickier.
But if they could have done the audio, they could have just, because he just sounds nervous. But it made it quite difficult to listen to. But he gets into the flow.
Okay, that's good. So but you can be, especially if you've never done it before.
Yeah.
And a lot of these people, just because they work at GW, doesn't mean they're naturally.
No. The Sam Pearson one was very good. I listened to his Warcry one. He's the Warcry designer. That one was good.
So what are we on next on the list? What makes Warcry stand out from other games? Well, this was the question we were going to answer a moment ago. Based on very little knowledge of other games, but what I like about Warcry is the fact that you can just turn up with a warband and there's very little pre-prep required. You just need the scenery. The models are quite evocative. They're very detailed. The scenery is very detailed. You said scenery was one of your reasons.
It's so much better than Kill Team though, which has the good scenery, but it's just you can actually turn up and play it, and it's much more intuitive.
And the single dice roll. Yeah. I think that's just been a massive...
I think the fact that they've built the whole system from the ground up, whereas Kill Team is kind of like a bolt-on / cut down 140k.
I think Kill Team was people want to play 40k but don't have the time for a full game. Yeah. This is your answer. Whereas Warcry is its own game, set in the AOS world, obviously, but its own game. It then says, is there anything Warcry could be improved or promotes a negative play experience? Improved.
I think Jacob asked a similar question about balancing Warcry, and you can get some super imbalanced scenarios. We haven't had one yet.
Not massively.
We had one where I didn't think I couldn't possibly win. Chasing after you.
Yeah, well, you were chasing.
But I enjoyed having a go, even though it was very difficult.
Yeah.
So
I've read somewhere people said, the objective was in my half and I had to take it, and my opponent had like a super slow warband, and I could just grab it and sprint away forever.
The dog thing that can.
And you're like, you're going to get games like, but at least the good thing about that is games like can go really quick. Or you can just say in that situation when you pick out the objective card, say, that's going to be crap, let's do a different one. Yeah, and
it depends on how you're playing. If you're playing something you don't know very well and they draw it and you're at disadvantage, it's very hard to say.
But then you're more likely when you're playing someone you don't know in a sort of pickup game is you're not going to use those unbalanced cards.
No,
you're just going to use the mirror play
ones.
The ones that you can use for I can't remember what they call them now. Exhibition games.
I would say so.
So I think that.
So we haven't found it unbalanced yet.
No.
But we could see that it could be.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's still good fun, and actually it's very quick. So if somebody does win in 3 turns, you can probably get another game in.
Well, most games are only 3 turns. Yeah. So that is the other.
Yeah, but some of them they roll on, don't they?
Yeah.
But if it is over and you call it, then you can play.
I can see that there's a possibility in the negative play style or negative play experience. I can see that there is possibly some chance that games are going to become just a ruck in the middle in certain situations, and it's just a punch up fest. But even then, you still have a lot of thought to go into who do you attack with first when you roll your initiative dice, which abilities do you have to do various things with.
You can get surprising results with people with a well-placed quad.
Yes, Well, in fact, some of the other abilities, there's one in the I can't remember I think it's the Unmade. and I think it's a triple,
Right.
where you roll for everybody within 3 inches of you. And on a 3 or 4, you do 1 damage, but on a 5 or 6, you do the damage of the ability. So if you've got triple 6, you've got lots of people near you, you can do lots of damage.
Yeah.
So it's not a foregone conclusion by any stretch.
And there was something about what don't I like? I don't like you. Well, you kind of come up with a fix for this already. If you've got multiple models with the same card, so you get multiple models that are basically the same fighter, but they're just different poses.
Like the plays.
You just get one card for them, and you get a little.
That wound chart
your
thing.
Wound chart goes underneath it to add.
We've already done away with wound tokens by putting them in sleeves and using a dry white marker, which someone suggested on Facebook. So we're already getting rid of some of their tokens.
But it makes it unnecessary. I think it was they kind of got rid of all text from the cards.
Yeah.
And just used pictures, which is fine, but it's unnecessarily complicated because the figures, certainly in most of the warbands that I've played, are quite similar. Yeah. So it's very hard to remember which one is the one that's not represented, because one of the fighters is represented by a photo. If you've got 2 types that are represented by 2 different, two different types of fighter, that you have 2 of each, so 4 fighters altogether of 2 types.
And you've got 2 cards.
And they're very, very similar with 2 cards. It's very hard to remember on the table which one is which.
Not only that, you have a net total of 4 cards still.
Yeah.
So if you just had one for each, you'd still have 4 cards, but they'd be much easier to
I actually thought of an even better way of maybe doing it is actually to have separate little cards with the photographs of the fighters on, and extra fighter cards, so you can just put them on.
Or I mean, you're looking at
a total
of
maybe. Then you could like, because some of the like the in the Iron Golems you've got the signifier and the other guy whose name I can't remember, and you can't make both. Yeah. But actually, if the photo was separate to the card, you could just put the photo on it and just say, well, this guy has got these stats for this game.
But those 2 guys they have different stat cards anyway.
Yeah, well, I suppose. Okay. But you could do that. Yeah, you could still do that. But even so, you could just mix it and match it a bit more.
Yeah, true. They could just do 1 card for each model in the box that you can make out of the box, because there's still going to be maybe a total of an extra 4 or 5 cards.
Yeah, I got really thinking about this question today. I was thinking you could really, if you had an app, if it was app based, you could really. Because I reckon the point system must be quite easy to break down. What things are worth what points, and you could actually start generating your own fighters. Yeah, and producing your own cards, which officially I think that would be quite easy to do. Yeah, it'd be really nice. And then you could have photos to do your own warband.
All we've done in the interim is I've just scanned the various images, copied the cards, and pasted the new images on top.
Yeah, I'm not sure that made any sense. Overthinking it makes sense in my head, but I just think there's a real scope for like almost going back to the old school. Do you remember going far back? There were points for everything. Yeah. And if you swap out a sword for a 2-handed sword, it was 2
points more.
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly. Yeah.
If you took a pistol, you could have 5 points, or a long rifle for 10 points.
I almost feel like with the limited stats on this card and an app, you could very easily mix and match your fighter cards and have your own.
Because you could do it like in AOS, where you have a model and it either has 2 swords or 1 great sword, and it has this or that, and it has this or that, and then you end up with multiple different combinations, but within set boundaries, so it doesn't become ridiculously complex. Because like I remember version 3 of Warhammer or whatever, where anybody could literally take anything, so your goblins could have all manner of different weapons, all this kind of stuff, and you don't need that level of complexity, but you could certainly have.
Because it's got individual fighters, you could you could very easily have something that was like, well, this guy actually he's got. You could just change the weapon stat.
But as we said before, once you start doing this, you start making it more complex. Yeah. And so on. So.
Yes. Oh yeah. But I think you could do it for the people who want it done. We're not saying, I'm not saying it should be for the whole, for the game. Definitely. I think it would be easy to write an app which basically enables you to create your own characters.
Yeah, give you a bit more customizability like Kill Team, but not too far.
Yeah. Because if you had an active number on the crunch, or you could put in what you wanted, and it would say, well, that's 250 points. And you could cap. Okay, you can't build anybody more than 200 points, but
that'd be quite a good idea. Yeah,
that would be fun.
Yeah, maybe that'll come.
Sorry, I burbled on there. That was like a cross section of my brain.
His last question, terrifying, isn't it? It's like what's the name of that painter? Dali. It's like a scene
like a melting watch.
Yeah,
it is very hot here today.
It is very hot today. Do you think Beastgrave will be good for Shadespire, or do you think it will bloat the game? I
kind of answered that. I think we fear the bloat.
Fear for bloat.
Games Workshop
don't fear the bloat.
Don't particularly seem that inclined to cut cards. Obviously, they have
No.
restricted some, and I kind of feel like it's going to bloat.
I don't think they're going to get rid of season
No,
one.
I don't, not yet.
Because if they get rid of season one, people have no reason to buy season one warbands at all, really. Because all the other season 2 and 3 warbands are much better than season one.
Yeah.
So unless somebody really is
So
desperate,
it really depends. The answer to that question probably depends on how many units of those season 1 warbands they've got left.
yeah, they've got loads, then they probably won't for a while.
Yeah.
And once the last Oric warband leaves the
So,
store in
I'm gonna ban them, chomp.
in 2024, because no one buys the Oryx anymore, then they'll be like, all right, brilliant, we can cut season 1 now. What are we up to? Season 13. Cool, well, I guess that works. So we'd like to see less bloat, less cards. Don't think they'll do it though.
No,
We fear there may be bloat. So I hope those answered your questions suitably, sir. Fear the bloat, yeah, Nurgle Warcry. Yeah, a bit of IBS in there. Terrible. It's one of Nurgle's less lethal afflictions, but still, you know.
Jeff makes a good point there, that if you're playing in a Warcry game where you've got a new warband against a warband that's quite experienced, so it's got more points, then if it's an unbalanced scenario in the favour of the underdog, then it's...
I wonder how often you'll do that though,
I
and you're
know.
more likely to
I don't
play often in a group of friends who are all
Probably.
playing at similar
Probably.
times. You're all going to advance
I
at a
guess
similar
if you
level.
play in a store, I guess.
Plus, if you do have one warband that's massively outranking another warband, you can spend points to buy.
Yeah,
You
but
can
if you
get
haven't got
extra
any
points.
you can't spend them.
Yeah, there is that.
But
There
anyway.
is that. There is definitely that. I think they should do like Andrew promises to have 10 questions next time. You did pretty well, dude. So don't worry. But yep, 10 questions
You
next
could have
time.
added something like, what colour should I paint my bathroom or something like that.
Yeah, well, yeah. You didn't ask us anything like what was the airspeed velocity of a unladen swallow.
No.
So
Yeah, somebody's asked that before though.
they have. I think it was Andrew.
Okay.
I think that one thing they should do in Warcry is they should have like the underdog system, like in Blood Bowl, where if somebody outranks you by a certain amount, you just get given that extra money or whatever to spend.
Yeah, I think that,
You don't have to necessarily have it available to use.
or you can just have beasts of the same value.
Yeah,
Furies,
something
or
like
whatever they're called, the same value.
Furies or the murder chickens. Okay, so on to Jacob Pank, another one of our patroners. Of the two game systems, which do you prefer to play, Warcry or Underworlds?
Yes.
Yes, inclusive
I
and.
think we've answered that, have we? Maybe, I don't know. It's a bit.
They have
I
different-
prefer the game element of Underworld. I think it's better. I think it's a better game. I have to say.
I think even despite the issues, it's a tighter game.
The actual game, I think it's better
Because it's just hex movement. The dice are simple.
But it's complicated too.
Yeah. There's definitely still strategy there, but the mechanics are simple.
Yeah.
Whereas in Warcry, whilst it's got simple mechanics, moving around and rulers and stuff.
It's just a bit more wishy-washy. Whereas, in theory at least, Underworlds is nice and tight, and you've got...
I like nice and tight.
Stop it.
So I think I
like
prefer a nice tight gaming system.
But I quite enjoy just the turn and play aspect of Warcry.
I think we've hit a certain point in the evening now. We're down to 14 viewers.
Oh,
We're up to 20 at one point.
That was your terrible joke.
Yeah. Sorry, but everybody who's still watching, thank
It's
you.
getting late.
So I think we both still possibly prefer Underworlds for the game itself.
Yeah.
However, Warcry has a nice.
If I could persuade my son to permutate and crunch all the numbers and build my deck for me each week, then I'd definitely say Underworld.
Yeah. that is a big overhead that has very little reward at the
exactly,
time of doing it. Yeah. With Warcry, what do you feel the balance is like? I don't know if we've covered this
Probably.
bit so much.
That's why we jumped ahead.
I think the balance is. I think it's fairly balanced at the minute. I think there'll be some warbands that are just inherently a lot better than others because that's just the way you get it in any game. And certain warbands will fare better in certain missions. I do think the varied mission and stuff. No, I think this is all conjecture from me really, but I think a lot of it will come down to the scenario you have, and in certain situations, powerful warbands will probably be quite rubbish. So. If you have a stand in the middle and punch each other to pieces, Oryx are going to do really well because they're really tough. However, if it's a grab an objective and run away, Oryx are stuffed because they move 3. Yeah. That kind of thing.
Oh, look, they're dropping like flies. Stop talking, man.
13. Oh, God. Well, this is a problem. Also have a first game of Warcry, and sometimes the game modes are super imbalanced. Have you played in game modes that seem impossible yet? No, but we could definitely see that happening.
Yeah.
So,
ready for action.
So, Decubed asked this earlier on in YouTube, so I figured I'd grab this.
Oh, I missed that.
Does it belong in the ban list, considering its ubiquitous?
Ready for action? No, obviously it doesn't.
It is on the restricted list. I don't know if it needs to be banned, because you need a glory, you need an upgrade. I've had situations in the past where I've had ready for action and I've not been able to use it. So it's restrictive enough, I think, in the way it plays, that it's still a gamble to take it, and it is a restricted
But it is
slot.
still in everybody's card. Just about everybody's.
True. I have also had the unfortunateness that I don't think Ready for Action's ever enabled me to get 2 successful attacks off.
I kind of feel like actually its day is probably done, because it is in every deck. But it's such a good card because it is basically, when you've only got 12 activations, it is almost a free activation.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah. And that's
possibly.
why it's there. So I do like the card. I don't think it unbalances. Yeah, exactly. I don't think it unbalances the game that much because both sides have it.
It can be.
It's obviously better for some warbands than others.
Yeah.
But I think its day may be done, if I'm honest.
Possibly.
Apart from the being able to say it, I wouldn't be sorry to let it go. But we will, if they do ban it, we will hold auditions for new cards.
Yeah.
Become the catchphrase.
He did also ask, are there any other cards right on the edge or cards that don't deserve to be on the ban list? Well, I do think the Extreme Flank does need to be on the ban list. It just needs to be better worded, better FAQ'd, and same for Time Trap.
Yeah.
I don't think that needs to be on the ban list. It just needs to have better errata / FAQ to it.
Quick Thinker could have been errata differently to not be banned either.
Yeah, you could have had that happen before your opponent makes the move part of the charge.
Yeah, I mean there must be cards on the ban list that almost nobody ever takes.
Well, you can't because they're banned.
Sorry, restricted list. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like Loner, I don't know if he takes anymore really.
No, probably not.
So, but whether that's because they're just are better restricted cards, I don't know. So whether everybody would start taking them if they were taken off, I don't know.
Are there any other cards on the edge that aren't on there right now that should be? I mean, Hidden Paths and Fameway Crystal are pretty ubiquitous. You see them a lot, but they're only movement cards.
Yeah, I don't really like Fameway Crystal. I keep taking it, and yeah.
Yes, I wonder if they appear a lot, but I don't think they necessarily matter that much in the grand scheme of things.
I feel like Escalation already is on there, isn't it?
Escalation is already restricted.
Yeah.
Should it be banned though?
No,
Again, we've had this conversation. It's handy because it gets the glory.
I think it's better for. I think it's good. It's a good game state game.
I'm not sure if Calculated Risk should have gone onto the restricted list because it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, it is Calculated Risk, really, isn't it?
Well, it is. Yeah,
and I think it did make the game more interesting. But I'm not sure. I would argue that you could ban Superior Tactician.
Ban it or restrict it?
Ban it. It is restricted.
Ooh, okay, yes, good point. It is restricted.
Yeah.
Oh, strong words there.
Yeah.
Ban.
In fact, I would be interested to see what the game played like if you didn't have any of those. Get glory for already scoring glory. Apart from the really different ones like Great Gains.
Well, victory after victory is pretty tough because you've got to do like 2 or 3 in the previous activity.
I see decks that win tournaments and they have all these cards. I don't understand how they don't always get snarled up.
They're not shit like us.
Well, maybe that's it.
But I had multiple score glory for scoring glory cards like victory after victory and superior tactician and stuff in my Skaven deck. And I only had maybe 1 or 2 occasions in all the games I played during the Grand Clash where I was sitting there with the wrong cards and I had to bin them. Every other time, because there were so many easy to score, instant scores, you can just churn through your deck. So
yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it's winning. It's being rewarded for everything going well already. I kind of feel like it would be. I'm not saying they should be got rid of, but I would be interested to see how the game played without them.
There is Warning Shot. Warning Shot's gone on the restricted list, and that rewards you for not going well.
Well, there are a few. Yeah, I don't know those either actually. Cause I don't like
That's because you're in a really pivotal moment, and then
Yeah.
Sorry, Andrew.
Yeah. Well, there are a few cards like that. Branching Fate possibly should be restricted.
I don't know because branching strike, that one can be quite tricky because you've got to roll different results.
It's tricky for some warbands and they don't take it, and it's easy for others. And maybe the Eyes of Nine don't need any. It's quite good for the Eyes of Nine. Maybe it should be a specific card to them. But I just kind of feel like again it's a card for. I like cards that reward playing the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
See what I mean?
Yeah,
and
yeah,
and they're
definitely,
like they're almost cards with reward turning up.
Yeah,
I think that's the.
Yes, and I don't like how little you see objective play now in the game. I mean, we don't use it at all because I think for the most part, for me, I feel that if one of us takes an objective based deck, it's that much harder to win, and we're that fairly evenly matched now that you're just putting yourself at a massive disadvantage, and you are going to, in our situation, you're nearly always going to lose.
Yeah.
So
I have you guys to blame for singing "Ready for Action" every time I get that card.
I wanted to hear that, and in fact, of course, in my first game at the Grand Clash, I was up against Andrew, so we did sing "Ready for Action."
One person did it to me at the Grand Clash.
Yes, that's all I wanted.
Almost
Apologetically,
I was like, no, don't apologise.
No, do it again. Do it again. One more time.
That's just saying Intar's opponent joins in too. Brilliant.
Excellent. And Anonymous Jeff agrees with us that he says a majority of the ban restricted cards come down to poor design or poor FAQ. I don't even know if it's poor design a lot of the time. I think several of them are just because the FAQs were just... I mean, and even when they came out at the time, people are all sitting there going, why have you done that?
Yeah.
That's just terrible. Well, not terrible. It makes it brilliant, but at the same time, that means it's going to go on the ban list.
All right.
And I do think that some cards, like Great Concussion, I don't think that needs to be on the ban list anymore. Because I don't think anyone would take it, even if they could now. I wouldn't.
It's good for Alone in the Darkness.
Possibly, yeah. But then you're tying another card into a card, and you've got that reliance.
And also, you always moaned about how difficult it is for objective-based decks. That would, just make it even harder.
Well, no one takes them. So what's the point? It makes no difference.
I suppose so.
Malachi Wallahan, and apologies if I've mangled your name. But Malachi has asked. He's one of our newer patrons. Hello. He asked, "What factions would you like to see in the new Beastgrave series?" And hopefully we covered that a bit. We had Nurgle. Hopefully maybe some of that Bone Splitters. Daughters of Cain, Free People,
and the new undead people,
and new yes from
and some sort of uber new chamber open Stormcast we haven't seen yet. That would
Whilst it annoyed me when they were releasing yet another chamber, I did like the fact they could poke fun at themselves. Where he's like, "My Lord Sigmar, you can't open another chamber." The hell I can't! Slam. Like, yeah, we can do what we like. Because oh look, we're writing history just as we're sitting here talking. Oh look, he just did it again. So yeah, hopefully you've got your answers you needed there, sir. Do please ask more. Matthew Martin asks us several questions. How do you like
Matthew's
Warcry?
recording his own.
He is. He's
own
recording
podcast.
his own.
That's going well, Matthew.
Yep, looking forward to listening to that more. You did link it in our Discord. I haven't had a chance to listen to that yet, but it's on my list. How do you like Warcry now that we've had a handful of games? Do we like the rules, tactics, mechanics? Do you think it will turn into a competitive game like Underworlds or remain a side game? I'm not sure how much it can become, but
they will run tournaments for it.
And saying that, things like 40k and AOS, which are infinitely more loose and wobbly around the edges.
They will run tournaments for it, but it's never going to be tight like Underworlds is.
No. But it will be tighter, I think, than AOS or 40k. Because there's restricted board, there's restricted model options, restricted rules.
Yeah, I feel like Warcry should be more of a game. I feel like with the bigger games, that the game is already won before you turn up the table. If you know what I mean? It's all down to the list building.
Yes.
Finding whatever loophole exists at this particular time and just turning up with that. And whereas I think Warcry, you've got less opportunity for that.
Yeah. Sang Entar mentions on YouTube that he uses the objective decks for his Fire Slayers. I think that's possibly a bit more of a given for them because they are after those objectives. But that's simply for narrative fun play, not tournaments. And that's the thing, really. You just sit and think, I could take this as a fun little deck to try out and stuff, but you're probably not going to put a tournament on the line with it. So, and Jason says that he prefers narrative over tournament. I do, but when you're at a Grand Clash, you'd like to come the top third somewhere.
I do in theory, but in practice, I end up not.
I don't like losing.
Yeah,
I'm a bit like that. So yeah, we think it will. I think it will be more competitive than AOS and 40k. Sorry, back to the Warcry question. I don't think it can ever claim to be as competitive or tournamenty as Underworlds. But saying that, things like 40k and AOS are massive tournament things, so what do I know, really? I mean, people like playing them.
I don't think it'll ever... for some reason, they don't seem to... Their niche games don't ever seem to blossom like... It's like AOS and 40k are like massive hammers.
But then they've been around a long, long time.
Yeah, well, maybe that... Yeah.
And they've already got a large following.
Yeah.
Blood Bowl's a massive game,
Yeah, true.
and that's been around for 20
True.
years with GW
That
not
does
even
have a big
supporting
following.
it.
You just
so
don't see them. You don't see them so much.
no,
But
but they do have massive
yeah.
tournaments for Blood Bowl and stuff. Like
That's
we were
true.
talking to one of the
Talking out
people.
my bum, really. Yeah.
But that's why you tuned in. 'Cause that's all we've got.
Yeah.
So I think it will become a bit more competitive. I think they'll definitely do tournaments and stuff like that. I'm not sure we'll ever get anywhere near competitive with it though.
Warcry, no.
No, not Warcry. And same for Blackstone Fortress. I don't think that'll ever be a competitive game. So
I'm not sure that's what he meant.
no, he said, "Oh, which bit then?"
Well, I think he meant for the do we like the rules?
Oh,
Texas
do we like
mechanics?
the rules? Yeah, well, that's a good point. Yeah, there was that. But
Yeah.
it does seem a bit more complex, Blackstone Fortress. I mean, it's easy now, we've got a head around it, but when you're starting out with it...
I don't think the rule books are particularly well designed. It's quite nice that they're in separate little books, so you're not trying to wade
But
through
you end
the
up with
whole
like 3 books.
But it's not,
open
the
at once.
rules aren't always in the right book that you want.
So you then
I
have to
think
go to a
probably
different book.
there is
and
somebody
fix
has
it
done a
around.
whole kind of PDF thing, I should probably download. But I do kind of like it. I like it more than the other two Warhammer Quest games.
Yeah, well, the first one I didn't like at all.
No.
The second one I didn't mind so much. It had the
Yeah, that was quite good.
the GM and stuff in it, so that was a bit
But
better.
I quite like it. Whether I will happily play all the way to the end, I don't know. We'll have to see.
We'll have to
But it's quite. It has certainly caused some entertainment.
It certainly
so I don't know if
has.
you've been watching the Blackstone Fortress.
The
videos, but
Blackstone Fortress did with that went
it's
out on
just one
Patreon last week,
yeah,
didn't
there's
it?
a new one on YouTube this week.
One adventurer,
Yeah.
like an hour. I don't know how long the actual
Yeah,
video is, but it's
yeah.
like a friggin' hour long with this one adventurer trying to not die against
Yeah.
a horde of guardsmen. It's worth a watch. It's very funny. So I do like the mechanics in that game as well.
Mhm.
There do seem to be a few rules in it that are a bit abused, that could be abused, and a few characters that are possibly uber powerful. But at the same time, it's a fun cooperative game, so no one's really losing at the end of the
No,
day.
exactly. If you're
And
having a good time.
That's the one good thing about that game, is
Yeah.
that everybody can work together, and
Yeah.
if something starts to go really terribly wrong, you can just agree as a group, okay, this is going really badly, so let's just maybe give ourselves a little bit of an edge,
Yeah.
and just to try and give us a chance. We'd never do that when we were recording, though, ever. What is the plan moving forwards with bat reps? Although I think us Patreon supporters love all of your content, I've noticed a decrease in traffic since your break from Warhammer Underworlds. When you say a decrease in traffic since our break,
Just means that there's been roadworks outside his house. People have been going a different way.
I've noticed a distinct drop-off in our Underworlds traffic as well on YouTube.
Yeah, our traffic had really dropped on Underworlds
Yeah.
even before we stopped
Yeah.
making the videos.
And I think, but once we stopped making them, no one watched them at all. Not what we meant, obviously. But yeah, I have noticed that I think it's because people are a bit bored now. All the warbands and all the cards are out.
It is, people are...
There's
yeah.
nothing new. I mean,
Yeah,
we could
that's-
guarantee when we got the new warbands and we did some videos with the latest warbands, we get a couple of thousand hits on it in a
Yeah.
week. That was almost guaranteed. These days, you release one, we'll get maybe 1,000 or so in a week. I mean, we don't have the same numbers that some of these channels do. You know, we've got we're nearly 4,000 subscribers, but
Might do that before Christmas.
I think we'll hit 4,000 by Christmas because we're getting about 100 or so a month. So we're about
I was being
38 and a half.
pessimistic.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
okay.
But probably not.
No.
We'll probably be shut by Christmas. But we are definitely seeing a drop off in Underworlds, and I think that's probably because people don't care as much at the moment about Underworlds.
It's that funny thing, isn't it? It's like season 2 is complete. So
Yeah,
I don't need
it's
to worry
done.
about it now.
Yeah,
It's
kind
that
of.
kind of need new
whatever.
toys. So there's no point watching that. And that's why I'd say that if there was a period of stability, like there was no promise of Beastgrave, I think people would still be interested. But it's almost like, I've got this, there's the new list, the game state isn't going to change. I know people
Yeah.
can come up with different variations of how to play, but the game state isn't going to change. And even I've been busy, so I haven't looked, but there don't seem to be as many the other bloggers don't seem to be doing. I know Jamie Giblin said he was fed up with doing it. There don't seem to be as many other things. There have been a few podcasts and stuff, but I kind of feel like everybody's waiting to see what Beastgrave does. There was the Dreadfane debacle with some of it being released early.
Yeah,
I
came
think-
out a
I
month
think
early
Mark-
on
Matthew
Barnes
might-
and Noble, didn't
Matthew might have asked that question, might have mentioned that, but yeah, the Dreadfane debacle seems to have got everybody. Not there's some people who've got it, some people haven't, and I think that's caused a bit of.
it? Yeah.
I think also the summer, everybody's busy, and I'm now really rambling, but I just kind of feel like because Beastgrave is
Hot, no
coming
one wants to play.
so soon,
Yeah.
it's
No one
like,
cares
there's
now.
almost
They're just waiting
I
for
might as well go-
September.
I'm going to go to the beach, and then when the autumn comes around, I'll have a bit more time.
It's like it's August.
And-
It's like 26th now. It's
Yeah.
probably going to be about 3 weeks till Beastgrave lands.
yeah,
or I think in under 3 weeks we'll know some solid stuff about Beastgrave.
Yeah.
And in maybe 3
Well,
to 4
there's
weeks'
a
time.
Nova.
Oh, when's that?
This Thursday, isn't it?
Oh, it's going to be pretty. It's can't come out there.
There's going to be some stuff there.
I reckon it'll be coming out for that. Well, not coming out, but they're going to show off all the warbands,
there's going to be
and there'll be loads of previews at that point.
Yeah.
And then after that, everyone's just going to be frothing at the mouth. Frothing at the mouth.
Yeah.
For,
and we will, to be fair. I think, because when that Beastgrave announcement came and they showed the box and everything, I was like, oh yeah, that'd be really great. So I think it will start again, and we will hopefully get a copy, and we will start hit the ground running, and then we'll make some, and I think we'll be re-energized. However, I've gone back down to 30. Yeah. I do feel
stop talking, man.
That maybe we could do with like I say, cutting some cards, because I was thinking about getting Beastgrave. But then trying to integrate it with all the millions of cards.
Thought of that with the 1,000 or 1,200, 1,300. When you've got 1,300 cards and 800 of them at least are just chafe, it just starts to get a bit much.
Chaff, I think chaff is something else.
Oh yes, chafe is.
It depends where you wear them.
That's what I got from the beach.
Depends where you wear them. If you wear them, then you can get chafe.
Yes,
100 cards.
Yeah. So we are. So moving forwards, we are just hoping that Underworlds picks up again come September when the new Warbands comes out. Because if it doesn't, then we're just going to start wondering what we're going to do with our time. Warcry has seen some success as well, and I think it's because it's the new hotness. Yeah. But again, by about our third video, that was starting to really drop as well. So
we did do 3 the same.
We did do 3 the same, and we're a bit slow. Yeah. So yeah, there is that possibility. And then our video we did with the Legions and the Gash picked up again. I think did fairly well. So. I mean, we'll just have to see how it goes, really. We do want to keep doing Underworld stuff. Definitely. The other problem we have is that we try and keep relevant, but we don't have the same ability to keep relevant as some of the younger people, some of the young bucks
some of the youngsters.
It's a young man's game. It's a young man's game. We've got kids and families, and these guys, they can get the box and they can get a game in the day it lands, and we just can't do that. No. So we do have a problem where we're behind a bit. We also don't have the time to be able to play leagues every weekend and tournaments every weekend and come up with deck lists to win glass left, right and centre and become But we're not bitter about that at all. Not bitter at all. No. Yeah, we've got our families and our children, which obviously mean so much more to us than a glass trophy.
Anyway, I think we should move on.
So our plans are we're just going to keep going at it and see how it goes.
We're going to keep going on about our terrible empty lives.
Yeah.
No.
Have we kept up to date with the current state of Underworlds? Do we think
the
whole
we kind of said that earlier. No, not really.
It's basically been released 5 weeks early in the US and it's caused a lot of confusion. Well, literally said that. It got released too early by Barnes & Noble, but I think they just kind of probably turned around to GW and went, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
And GW went, oh, you're selling loads of stuff early. Oh, I really hate that.
Yeah. It just obviously caused confusion with the tournament play.
Yeah.
And they should have thought about that.
Yes,
because it was going to, even if it had gone out on time, it was still going to cause confusion.
Yeah, they could have had that prepped way ahead of time.
And I think, I don't know. I'm going to play it. I haven't played it yet. I wonder. There's a little part of me wonder whether this might be a bit of an own goal. We'll see. I mean, it might play well, but I just feel.
I'm hoping that these aren't two of the Beastgrave.
If there was any Games Workshop game that didn't need slimming down and being made more accessible, it was Warhammer Underworlds.
Yeah, that is true. It's pretty bloody simple as it is.
Yeah,
it's a bit like coming out with a new streamlined version of Space Crusade.
Yeah,
or Hero Quest or something. It's like Snap. Yeah, it's only one deck. One player
all
has
cards
it.
All the same.
It's only 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s. That's it.
I just kind of feel like, and so it has caused this confusion, and you have now got a situation where there's people in the UK can't get it, but some people have got it, and they have got, so they can then potentially fill these new cards. Although they can't because they can't play it in tournaments over here. But then they haven't announced when they're going to release. If they'd announced, well, this is it, and you'll be able to get the cards, or they release the boxes of them at the same time. But then everybody's like, well, when are we going to be able to play with them?
I really hope that those warbands don't come out as part of the Season 3 warband offering.
But then, I do sort of agree with you because you want more new stuff.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, that's even more cards. Because you can guarantee they're not going to come out just with their faction-specific ones. They're going to come out with new universals.
That is very
true. Even more cards.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe it would be best if they just come out. A bit like Garrick and Severin did, where they came out with... so they'll do like another Echoes of Glory pack, but they'll also do those two warbands.
Am I right in thinking they also have some numbers, like these are like 1 to 60 of 120 or something like that as well?
Oh,
so
they might be.
Potentially even more Dreadfang cards.
Oh, God.
So, yeah.
I hope not.
Yeah.
Jason Neal does say that chafe is a good reason to sleeve your cards. Double sleeving does prevent chafing. Oh dear. Some terrible jokes here. And have we seen the rules for Dreadflame? We've got the box
Not
now.
really.
Haven't actually read them yet. But what do we think will be carried? How much do you think we carried over to Beastgrave? And finally, how much are we looking for?
I think the keywords. We said that right at the top.
Keywords, really hoping they come across.
Yeah.
I think there's a flow chart in there which I'm really hoping carries across. I don't think it's a great deal different other than the stupid 2 glory per kill.
Well, obviously they've got the environment class,
which I don't think will cover across.
No.
I kind of don't want them to.
No.
They're a bit. I mean, reading them, they're mental,
and
so I just want the clarity, the riveting stuff. I just want the clarity to cover across, not the. I don't think Underworlds needs new rules or new different things.
No.
I certainly don't want to see the 2 glory.
I think the new dual terminology for objectives will.
Yeah.
The surge terminology will come over.
Yes.
The new scything terminology and the whole new.
There's Warcry stuff in this book.
The whole new. Sorry. Words.
The whole new sodding normal.
Yeah. What's it called? Entangled will come over.
Yes. Yeah, I definitely think those things will come over.
Nope.
We have a new comment from Maximiliano Hernandez San Martin.
Hello.
First off, awesome name. Love that. He wants to see more content from Underworlds. He really enjoys watching the games. Thank you.
Well, yeah. If you're on Patreon, you'll be able to watch Underworlds this week.
Even more.
And if you're a new video coming out, and it'll be the following week on YouTube. So
and
there is more coming.
And
we are recording Dreadfame this week, which is Underworlds, obviously. And we are going to be mixing and matching with Underworlds and Warcry. If you just tuned in.
So hopefully you like Warcry as well. Underworlds, what brought you to us? Love hearing that.
Yeah, and that's why when people ask about what are we going to play new games, kind of like, well, we'd love to, but we do appreciate that actually. Before Underworlds, nobody really watched us. And we don't want to go back to that, so we probably will just. Underworlds is always going to be the mainstay. As long as people are still playing it, I think.
Yes, I definitely think that's definitely going to be a solid backbone to what we do on the channel all the time. All the time, the game is still entertaining and fun to play.
Yeah.
And even when it isn't, if we're getting the views. But I think we need to do more to try and become more relevant. I think we're a bit irrelevant. We're fun to watch. We do our batter ups. People enjoy that, but we don't do a lot of the other stuff that a lot of other channels do, and that I think maybe we need to try and do as well. Try and become a bit more current in the whole scheme of things. Use the word meta more in a less ironic sense, maybe. I don't know.
I kind of disagree with you.
Jason Newell says that they won't do it, but it'd be better if the faction packs only came with faction-specific cards.
Yes.
Yeah, we said that before. I think that when you buy your warband, you
Yeah.
just get 30 cards that have your faction-specific cards in there, and then your generic ones. Well, they could just cut down on them. Really, they could just cut down on them.
They don't particularly need new ones. They could just reprint them for people who haven't got them already.
We've got the cards here as well.
Consecrated pendant.
Well, I thought they said consecrated pedant. This is why.
Well, I think you're fine.
It says consecrated pedant. Does it really? Does it? We have the cards here, and we were looking. They had the character ones online, and I mean.
Actually, I heard a really good joke the other day. I'm just going to say it now.
Go on.
It was I've written a new film about a comedy about. I've written a new romantic comedy about mansplaining. It's called Love Actually. I mean, Actually Love. Sorry, I got it wrong. I got it wrong. It's called Actually Love, which I thought was really good. If I'd not ruined it, sorry. I thought it was really good. Sorry about that. Actually Love. That's the punchline. See,
I can't even cut that to make it better.
No, sorry guys. Thanks for that.
That was your one chance.
I've got to go home now.
That was your one chance to get like.
It's late and it's hot.
It is.
It's late, so it was a very good tweet.
I've already noticed that there's some scope creep on the cards as well. In that there's like Soul Harvest, which is action. Put heal 1 damage. It also just says heal in brackets 1 this fighter. So they've already started to cut down on the wordiness, which I like. It's not remove 1 wound token from this fighter, which makes everyone suddenly go, "Why did they haven't got a wound token? Can I use this card?" It just says heal.
You have to say it in that voice.
Exactly like that. And it says heal 1 this fighter and give, which is also in bold, this fighter a guard token.
So I think that will all be tightened up.
So hopefully in the rule book, quick look, learn to play. Oh look, that one. No, don't need that one. We don't need to learn to play. So if we look in the back here,
Andrew still enjoyed my joke, even though I completely ruined it.
I think ruining it made it better. So we should now have a definition in here for give. So you got heal, a keyword. Some cards direct you to heal X on one or more fighters, where X is a number. Remove that number of wound tokens from the fighter card affected. A fighter is only healed if you remove at least one wound token from their fighter card. So there you go. So you got that, and then you have give as well, which is a rules term relating to tokens. A fighter given a token is said to have that token.
It is all proper
So they're
defined.
starting to get much more
good.
specific with their, starting to be a bit more pedantic with their wording.
Consecrated pedantic.
Yes, which is what you want really. You want and you got things like Arcane Siphon. One enemy fighter within 3 hexes of this fighter. Pick one of that fighter's upgrades. That upgrade is discarded, again in bold. Roll an attack dice on a hammer or crit. Discard this card. Ooh, that's quite nice. So you can actually possibly use that more than once. So that's better than a Shatter Shard, which is...
Yeah.
But this is an upgrade, and Shatter Shard's an action. So we're getting some more stuff in here.
Yeah, so it's commenting that people will buy X-Wing just for 1 or 2 cards.
Yeah.
And that's rubbish. You don't want that. That to me is bad. I know it's good business sense, but to me it's bad game design, because you want to buy everything. You want to buy the things you want to... You want to buy the things you want to buy.
Pretty teeth and love.
To play the game, don't you? You want to, I really like that. I want to buy those and play it, and I want to have a good experience with those. Not I want to buy those and I want to throw 9/10 of it away and use that. That's rubbish.
Because nothing else. It's just landfill.
Well, exactly. It's wasteful.
It's
wasteful as well. Yeah. Good point.
Yeah.
Environmentally, they need to. You're not going to read out every card, are you?
No, I'm not going to. But I've just noticed on this one. I've just noticed there's other things on there, like where it has after this fight it makes a move action, which is in bold. Roll and attack dice on blah. The first enemy fight they move through in that move action is dealt 1 damage. Yeah. So they're getting more specific with their rolls.
I'll have to say it like this all the time.
Yeah, you will.
That's good.
So I just like the fact that they're doing that. So you're definitely getting much more specific.
I feel like before
rules.
you started to go through there, we were going to talk about something else, and I can't remember what it was.
Was it bad jokes that you can ruin?
Probably. It was good jokes I could ruin.
Well, that's true. Yeah, they were bad. They were good jokes, and then you made them bad jokes. Oh, I didn't put the cards in there. So I'm hoping, and I think the last bit of that question was, are we looking forward to Beastgrave? And I think we are.
The second edition is good though with the app. Yeah, I've heard the app's good, but I've not played with it. I think I got it's just one extra game I couldn't find time to play.
What app? Oh, is this X-Wing? Sang Enter asks, is Dreadfane going to have the environmental cards? No, I don't think so. They haven't mentioned it specifically.
It's Dreadfane.
Dreadfane does.
Do you mean Beastgrave?
Sorry, yes.
Do you mean Beastgrave?
Yeah.
If you mean the environmental cards here.
If you're asking, is Beastgrave going to have the environmental cards? Then I don't think so, because they're a bit too random. A couple of flavour texts from some of these cards. I think you draw 1 in the first round, 2 in the second, and 3 in the third, or something mental like that. And things like the players roll off, starting with the loser. Each player picks 1 surviving for any fighter. Those fighters become inspired. So you could suddenly end up with tons of inspired people. It's just whirring blades. Any fight that makes a move action that takes them through or is pushed through any edge hex is dealt 1 damage.
Isn't there one that gives everybody an innate hammer dodge?
Yeah, there's one that gives an innate hammer fury.
Sorry, fury.
Smash fury, whatever you want to call it. But I don't
hammer
think...
Swords, that's what I meant.
Hammer sword, yeah.
Jeff has asked, what is ET short for?
Extraterrestrial.
I feel like that's a joke that I don't get. Is that going to be... Terrestrial extra. If I'm going to get my punchline around the wrong way.
I'm going to screw this up on purpose.
What does DNA stand for?
Is it going to be available in the UK? Sangenta also asks, again, Dreadfane is not going to be available in the UK officially.
No.
But you can, when you order it online, you can sort of pay via PayPal and you can get it sent
I think it's
there.
now not out again. But I think it has, you've got to wait for it to come out officially again.
In about 3 days.
That's about 3 days time.
Yeah, so I don't think it's ever coming out in the UK.
No, it's because he has got little legs.
Oh God, that's terrible. I love it. I'm going to use that one at work tomorrow. So Dreadfane not coming out the UK officially, but you probably could get it if you wanted to. The environmental cards are Dreadfane only, probably, and aren't going to feature in Beastgrave at all.
No, although I wouldn't put it past them to bring out a pack of environment cards that you could then add to.
Possibly with
add
some
to
rules
your
on
game.
how to play.
to
Yeah.
Environment
I mean,
cards.
and they might be fun enough that it'd be fun to play a game every now and then, but they certainly won't feature in tournaments. I don't think.
No. Has anybody played the White Dwarf Arcana Mortalis, whatever it was called, the rules they did last month?
Now, is it
played
Justin who does the Battlecast?
Yeah.
He did a video playing with the
Did
rules.
he?
I didn't get a chance
No, I have
to
not
watch
seen
it yet.
I haven't seen it.
From what I understand, it's meant to be quite mental and quite fun. So I was looking forward to us trying to get a game of that in at some point. Maybe we can possibly get one of those in before
We need extra people,
Beastgrave
though.
lands.
You need extra people.
You can use just 2-player. I
I
think.
think it's 3 to 6.
Oh, is it 3-6?
I might be wrong about that, but I think the more you have, the more
You've got the
better,
White Dwarf.
better it'll be. I do
You
have
have
the
to
White
read
Dwarf. I do. I have read it. Good night, Jeff. Jeff is off. I'm going to go soon. Jeff too. Thanks
Bye,
for watching, Jeff.
Thank you for watching.
And
Rusty MC Robot.
Rusty McRobot.
Musty Robot. Yep. Do you think Warcry will have decent competitive scene? I reckon it'll have a fairly good.
We talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
I think it will. I think there'll be people who want to play it competitively.
Yeah.
Although I think it's going to really appeal to these narrative groups. There's already
Yeah.
a big narrative campaign arranged
Yeah.
for Warhammer World. Somebody's got off. Somebody not Games Workshop. Somebody's just organised it.
Yeah.
I think that will, because it's a really nice. It's very loose. I know people moaned about the narrative framework, but I actually said this when I wrote the review. I think that's quite nice because people who are really into narrative play want to write all that stuff themselves.
Yeah.
And sort that all out themselves.
And if you
So I
write
think
it, it'll just be wrong. So
Yeah.
you might as well let them do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I think people will love to write. To play narratively. So
Definitely.
Lots of narrative events, but I think people will play competitively as well.
Uh,
I don't know about Kill Team. Does Kill Team have a big competitive scene? I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
No.
I don't actually know.
No.
I think there'll be people who want to play it competitively. I think for us, I don't think it'll ever be that competitive.
No.
I think we're always going to be playing it from a much more sort of not amateur, but a
Jolly.
much more fun-based approach.
Much
if
more like,
anything.
who am I playing this week?
What is it? What year is this? Who's the president? And VJ Moore says he can see that the keyword rules tightening in Dreadfame will carry over to Beastgrave.
Definitely Beast
We're
Rave.
just going to highlight it says Beastgrave. I'm just imagining a couple of Griffhounds just sitting there. Yes, I definitely think it will, and I hope that is the case. And I am looking forward to Beastgrave. I do want it to be all the things I'm hoping that it's going to be. I want it to be a toiter game. I want it to be an easy to play game. And I probably do want to see some bloke gotten rid of, so possibly Season 1 does need to go out. Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know how they're going to do it.
Maybe they could just say that you can only have X amount of cards from Season 1. Or something like that, maybe. I'm not sure if that'd make it easier or harder.
I'm not sure.
Or
Probably
maybe.
won't make much difference.
Maybe they'll just have to say bit Season 1.
I think that won't make any difference because the problem that they need to get rid of is that they need to stop people having to buy Season 1 to get ready for action, for example.
Yeah.
So there's no point saying you can have 5 cards because if you just have the 5 good ones.
Yeah, there is that aspect. And the other problem is they're not going to ban Season 1 because banning Season 1 means people won't buy Season 1 warbands because they don't need the cards.
The answer to the question really depends on how many units they have left. If it's not very many, then they might.
And then Jason then says, well, do they just give their universal cards the same names for previous editions? Yeah, they might do that. They could. They could take all the much more used cards from Season 1 and then use those in Season 3 with different names. So instead of Ready for Action, it could be even more Ready for Action.
Different names or the same names?
Yeah, they could just straight port the whole card, couldn't they?
Yeah.
They could just say, well, they do have a very large.
Yeah, they could just Ready for Action or whatever. Just put it in that, and then you haven't got to buy Season 1 anymore.
Yeah, that would actually possibly be the easiest way around it. Ban Season 1, use a load of Season 1 cards. Of course, they've already done whatever they've done. They've already done it.
Yeah, and they don't even need to ban Season 1 though. They can just, if they give Season 3, if they take the top 60, I took 60 plucked it out of the air, they take the top 60 cards from Season 1, put them in Season 3, then nobody who hasn't already got it needs to buy Season 1. But equally, people who have already got Season 1 don't need to buy Season 3 if they don't want to. And that might be why they don't do it.
Yeah.
They want everybody to buy Season
1. Well, that is the thing. Anytime they ban something like that, they're just stopping sales. And GW aren't going to stop sales.
Name, different pick. Yeah. Like a greatest hits album. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think every time they do something big, ban something like that, they're just cutting down on potential sales. And they probably won't for that reason, which is sad. But we have hit the end of our list, and we have also hit, I think, a new all-time long
Yeah.
along the
Time.
words have gone time trap, which they banned for obvious reasons. No, sorry. I think that's probably one of our longest broadcasts.
It did seem quite long, and we were worried we wouldn't have anything to talk about.
We were, but thanks to you guys at home watching, tuning in, I think we got 20 odd people at one point, which I'm still pretty happy with that.
20 people.
And it's the summer, people on holiday, all that kind of stuff. So I'm hoping next time round we'll have Beastgrave to talk about. We might even have a box by then. You never know.
Well, the next one will be, I guess, the beginning. Where are we? We're just at the beginning of September.
No,
end of August.
End of August.
End of August. September. Well, I think it will be the end of September. So yeah, we might have Beastgrave in hand.
So depending on how quickly Beastgrave is going to land, we might push back our next live to just after Beastgrave has arrived. Then maybe we might have to do a little bit of a chat on that one.
Yes.
2 hour broadcast, great material for painting this week. Well, glad you enjoyed it,
Andrew. Painting, Andrew?
Yeah, what are you painting? Do let us know before we sign off. I myself am painting the Unmade and just finished the finishing touches on the scenery for Warcry, which Robin had done already tons of work on.
I'm painting the Splintered Fang. I've done some armour and some skin tone.
I've nearly finished about 3 models, but I've got to wash the silver work. And it just highlights to me how bad I am at painting.
Yeah.
Because the models are so detailed, but at the same time, the Unmade have some really terrible soft details.
Right.
Like some of the backs on them, because they're meant to be bare backed.
Right, okay.
Which is quite a flat, boring area.
Right.
But they're meant to have some straps
muscles,
and stuff like that. Muscles, and they've got, like, you can't really tell where does the straps start. So, and the feet on a lot of them are quite bad as well.
Yeah, I've seen some people, but one of them was me.
Yeah.
I've seen some people painted things on Facebook, and you've got these beautiful toes, you can see they've got a mole or that kind of thing, and they're like a verruca, and then mine just look like
just this blob.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
I almost feel like just chopping them off at the knee. Yeah, almost feel like chopping them off at sort of mid shin.
Yeah,
and then like they're wading through mud. Yeah, and just putting some of that battle mire, whatever that one is that goes on the base that looks all muddy. His painting schedule went out of the window, prep for moving, and then moving means very fun. I mean, I don't have a schedule. Yeah. I've just got a list of stuff that I'll never do. All the gits, I do like the gits. Yeah. We never actually painted our own gits.
I feed my gits. And
they put them to bed.
In a bedtime story. But,
hopefully we gave you some entertainment.
I know my son likes to have his nails painted, so I have done that. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, it's useful for that. I do find that is a skill useful. One thing I was going to ask is be useful for next time. It was one thing is...
Could you send all unused £20 notes?
Yes. Yeah. If you've got any just lying around the house, chuck them our way. We'll get rid of them for you because they're going out of circulation in a couple of years, so better to do it ahead of time, I say. You don't want a whole pack of them just sitting there doing nothing, do you?
Yeah, that we all do.
Yeah.
Sorry, I completely derailed you there. What were you going to say?
To say 2 things. One, along with the nail painter thing, let us know in the comments below what things have you found your hobby has suddenly actually been useful for outside of just the hobbying world. I had a problem once where we had a bit of liner that we'd gouged a bit out, and I had to find a paint to match and managed to match in. So from a fair distance, you could actually tell the difference. I've done that. And the other one I wanted to ask is, what's the weirdest utensil or tool that you have in your hobbying armoury? Mine is this, because I don't have a desk with a light. I have this. I have to sometimes sit there with this on, which is okay. I get a bit of a headache sometimes, but I can actually use this because I can point it down, and I can work very nicely with this.
That actually makes some sort of sense.
It's actually
pretty bright. I can actually.
It is really. I mean, I haven't got it on the brightest setting. I think that's all of them. So it's pretty. It can be pretty bright, and therefore I can sit there.
Working.
I can sit there with this, and I'm going to worry about me life.
Now I'm just. When I imagine you, I often do when I'm home.
What's Pete doing?
What's Pete doing? I can just imagine you looking like a total plonker. Which is good to know.
Just sitting there in my house.
So to know the image I've had all this time is right.
Hey up, love. What's for dinner? Take that thing off your head. No, it's my headlamp. Anyway, so put those in the comments below. I want to hear what your best use of
I've got a dentist
your painting
hook. They scrape.
Oh yeah. And I want to hear best use of your hobby nerdiness outside of the hobby nerding world, and your most bizarre tool, and we'll cover those next time.
I use green stuff to fix my son's Ahsoka. He broke the arm off. And I
I've
had to fix
used
it.
plastic glue countless times to fix bits of Lego or
Wow.
Lego men and stuff
Yeah.
like that, which is very handy.
Yeah.
And I also used my drill, my pin.
Oh yeah, I had to pin. I
to-
used my
to-
pin vise to
yeah, to fix
the
an Action Man arm or something like that. Yeah. And Sang Entar did ask, did we clash once? We were both bent down to pick something up at the same time and headbutted each other. But we did go to the Grand Clash in July.
Yeah.
And did do very well.
Yeah, we
But
did
maybe
really
we'll go in
badly.
early next
Sang
year. maybe.
Entar, sorry, his painting schedule has been taken up by 30k. I love the 30k stuff, and I will never ever get around to playing or painting any of it. I think
Yeah.
it looks so amazing. We saw something when we went to Warhammer World. I just love how, even though it's 20,000 years in the future, or 28,000 years in the future, it still manages to look retro compared
Yeah.
with the stuff that's. I think it's
Yeah.
brilliant design, and I love it. As I say, I'll never
I
paint
also
it,
think as a
never
game,
paint it.
it's meant to be quite balanced.
Yeah, well, I've heard
because
it's-
it's
yeah.
Space Marines versus Space Marines,
Right,
so
okay.
it's quite easy to. They each have their own flavour of rules and stuff, so it's very easy to sort of balance that kind of thing. Oh, well, there's Mechanicum as well, but that's kind of it.
Cool.
So
No walks.
no orcs, no nids, no Eldar, none of that nonsense. It's all about the horse heresy. But anyway,
It's
we
my time.
do need to go
Might
home
keep for
now.
bed.
Well, I'm already home, but
Yeah,
Robin
I'm
needs
just
to go
gonna
home
go
now.
to bed.
Yeah, it probably can be broken like any GW game. So, thank you guys for watching. We appreciate everybody who's stuck with us, especially if anyone who's stuck with us since the beginning.
Well done.
Thank you very much. You should get some kind of pin badge for that. I survived
do you
nearly
mean-
2 hours.
I was
of
going to say, I thought you
nonsense.
meant like we've been watching us
is
for
two,
2
yeah.
years, but actually for the video for 2 hours.
2 hours, yes.
Yeah.
I think they deserve some kind of reward for that.
You get a little badge pop up. Blink,
Yeah,
like you do when
exactly.
playing games.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
It's,
say,
it's
I
an
say,
achievement.
like you do, my kids do.
Yeah, I
That's
don't do
fine,
that
yeah.
anymore. So we will be back soon, hopefully next time with some Beastgrave to talk
Yes.
about. We shall see you soon. Do check us out, do follow, do like, do hit the little bell, do all of those great and awesome things. And we'll see you soon. Oh no, wait. I've got to do this seamlessly. I need to set it up so I
Okay.
can click the thing so they can.
And look out for some photos on Wednesday of our Dreadfang game. And thank you to Matt and
Ed.
who
Yeah,
are-
for painting it, supplying us the box.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you.
Well,
guys.
hopefully, looking forward to getting some games of that in.
Woo.
But until next time, if we're all done here, and I think we are, we'll see you soon.